Hello everybody, and I do apologise for all the muck-ups. Tonight has been an absolute nightmare. Colon, my moderator, is aware of some of the troubles I've had. It turned out, we found out in the end, that one of the browser add-ins, TubeBuddy, which is supposed to help with regards to YouTube, and I haven't even switched my sound on, hold on. Have I got my sound on? Yes, I have. Thank God for that. Everything else could go wrong. And I see it finally it's coming through. Anyway, TubeBuddy was totally screwing up so that I could not get properly into the YouTube control room, and yet it started and announced a stream but wouldn't let me go into the controller to actually start it. Then when we finally got into the control room, it set it up for the 6th of December at midnight, and it wouldn't let me change the times. I've been sitting here chest tight thinking, what the hell's going to happen? Poor Colon has been supplying me with tea and sympathy because he's sat at the other end of the country, I expect, and he could only give me some friendly advice. So it's a real struggle. And Colon, I know you're out there. If at all I snapped or bit your head off, my deepest, humblest apologies, because I know that I can do that. You understand. Let me have a look. Who have we got in here? Paul Chamberlain, hello. Phil Blacker, loving the funk. Stephen Huxtable, good evening to you, sir. Good evening. Skyflybright, hello. Frederick Sigard, hiya chap, how's it going? 9 o'clock. Bad trip. FE is a try hard. Not sure quite what you mean by that. 7 o'clock start 9. I'm sorry about that. And I'm sorry, I dashed home from work, wedged a pizza down my face, came here ready to go, and it's taken 3/4 of an hour to go live. So I'm sorry about that. The other thing I've got to apologise for is I was planning, and I announced that I was going to try to use some conferencing software. Well, I did have a chance quickly to try that before I was going to go live, only to find that I couldn't get the sound to come from it. I'm sure it's just something I've done, and it could actually be related to the issues I was having. So I'll have another go another time and try and spend some time getting it to work before a live stream. Hiya, Tiffany. You just missed Arnold. He was here 2 minutes ago. But you'll see him on my video very briefly tomorrow. I think it's on tomorrow's one. Or was that on? No, was it on the one yesterday? God, I don't know. Since I had the live stream with Jim Skipper, my life has been absolutely mad. Trying to get videos done for this week and all sorts of things. Managed to get one out for tomorrow, but it's only a short one. And I hope, beyond hope, I can get back to normal next week. Who else we got? Good evening, Christopher Bell. Tiffany Hall, oh my God, what's the oh my God? Oh right, not seen him lately. Who have you not seen? Oh, Arnold. Oh yeah, bless you. I mean, he might come back in a minute. If he comes back, I'll get him on cam just for you. Yeah, I understand it's fun and games with FTFE. I've missed all the ins and outs. I just know it's to do with some claim. Yeah, Brain of Steel. I was just saying. I know that FE Chorus are threatening to sue FTFE, but I don't know what it's for. Is it for filming their building or something? Can anyone tell me? Does anybody want to come onto the Discord? It'd be nice to chat to someone different. All you need is headphones and a mic. Come onto the Discord, let me know, and David, from FTFE Live to Mr. Sensible's total nightmare live stream. In fact, I'll probably retitle this to that. What's the topic today? Topic today is, will I survive without dropping dead, I think, Frederick. What I had planned to do was this conference software and hopefully get a couple of people in, but that has now gone out the window, I'm afraid. I did want to look at one of Sleepy's videos, but I had actually put that on the back burner because I thought I was going to do the conferencing. So we'll see if I can get that in. I might have to tinker a bit on the fly. How many have we got in here right now? My Windows room, 50 in here already. Hello. Sorry for all the confusion with the notifications that have been going out. It's all due to software problems, not to YouTube, but it was affecting YouTube. It was an add-on to my browser that's supposed to help with YouTube. Well, Irish, all I'm using, all this camera is a £15 webcam with a built-in microphone, and it's not doing too bad. If you want to have a try, if you're not happy with it, you know, and I'll be honest, if you like, if I say it comes through and it's not bad enough to, not good enough to broadcast, I'll let you know. So, do you want to jump in? It'd be nice to have a chat. So FE Core is mad that FTFE pointed out that they were claiming to have non-profit status when they did not. Now they want to sue for defamation. Well, my understanding as a layman who has not looked into FE Core and is not accusing them of anything, my understanding was that several channels had found that they were only filing paperwork to become, to get charitable exempt status, but I don't know all the ins and outs. I'm keeping out of that. Right, so where have we got? Hello, 9. Hello, Chrisma. You've got to test something. You'll be back in a minute. Okay, man. Slander. Slander. Well, that's that's a civil issue, isn't it? Tiffany, thank you. Like this video. Not much to like right now, but I do appreciate the thought. It's actually got the right date underneath it. Finally. Are you sure, Irish? I've got. I mean, mine's literally a £15. I'm not trying to push you. It's just that you're more than welcome to. Okay. Okay. Error bad run. Yeah, please come back in a few minutes. What you need to do, I don't know if you're on my Discord, but let us know through chat or something so someone notices you, and then I'll grant you the permissions. Okay. Right. Sorry. Yeah. As you can gather, it's all. I'm all at 6s and 7s. I've had a 10-hour shift today, and I'd been home about 40 minutes before I was due to go live. Managed to quickly cook something to eat and eat it while I was still tinkering, while Colon was trying to help me as well, and I just couldn't get it to go. I do have some good news, so let's be positive. I had an email from Mr. Skipper today, Mr. James Skipper, ex-senior NASA test engineer. He's definitely up for it. He and I are going to do some tests, maybe without conferencing software. It looks like we're going to do that on Sunday. I suggested a couple of dates to him. Sorry, it's a bit cold in here. A couple of dates to him coming up during December. Unfortunately, he can't make those. So we're looking at a date in January. We've just got to sort an exact date. But he's already asked that people think about what questions they may like to ask him. And he's planning on a couple of anecdotes, some stories about his time at NASA, which I am really looking forward to. So let's move things around here. Can we see a pussycat? 274727. Do you realise that YouTube actually held that comment just because you mentioned the word pussycat? Yeah, well, if Arnold comes back, because he came in, he was in here for about 20 minutes and he's cleared off. Well, Christopher Bell, as I said, I don't know all the ins and outs of FE Core. What I do know is that they tried to copyright claim someone, their YouTube video, which all he was doing was walking around their building, filming it. You can't copyright a building that's available to be seen in the public. There we go. And I understand that all their other claims just were dropped. They've not got much of a track record. But since I've shown nothing of theirs, they can't claim copyright, and I'm not slandering them, as I'm not accusing them of anything, because I don't know. I'm just following the story or trying to with interest. Sorry, what else we got? Anonymous, hello there. Oh, and Anonymous, I don't know if you realised, but that other night, and I did say on cam at some point, I don't know if you heard, the other night when we were, I think it was Colon, maybe Spaceman and myself, whoever, we were trying to get things sorted out with that live stream, and you helped out. You're not a moderator, but you helped out and you helped spread the word. I very much appreciate it. And in fact, whoa, where are we? In fact, Mr. Anonymous, you are now blue. You are a moderator on here, sir. Okay, thank you very much for your help. Yes, I did, Tusk. Riley claiming, because who was it? The Rumpus, wasn't he? Trying to get Riley to admit that if you cut an apple in smaller and smaller bits down to its constituent atoms, those atoms would weigh the same as the entire apple, and he was denying it. And he said as soon as you're cutting it up, it's not contained by the skin. That was really weird. Irish, I did hear a bit of his song. I'm not impressed. I think my Riley song was better. Yeah, Anonymous, thank you. That's well deserved. I appreciate your help. I honestly do, because that wasn't asked for, and you didn't ask for anything in return. Thank you. Love to go on. Voice mod still isn't worked out. Your voice mod? What are you talking about, Chrisma? I'm happy if you've got a cheap ass £5 mic just so you can be heard. That's all you need. There's no camera, not expecting miracles. Like I said, hell, I'm only using a £15 cam built into mic built into the cam, so I'm living with that for now. Which reminds me, I do apologise, Frederick. I did see your question earlier on. I was going to answer and got distracted. You asked what sort of work I do. I'm afraid I can't talk about it. Sorry. And not even offline to patrons. I've not told anyone. I'm unable to discuss it. Okay. I wish I could, and maybe one day, if things change, I'll be able to. But that won't be for the foreseeable, I'm afraid. Chris O, shocked when Jim knew several flirts. I know, isn't it great? I mean, I was gobsmacked when I thought he, when he said he watched my channel. What is a voice mod, Chrisma? I know little of such things. David Neves. Yeah, SAS. Well, John, you may say that, but I couldn't possibly comment. And if I admitted it to you, I might have to kill you. A privacy strike against Sly, yes. Yes, that's right. A privacy strike against public data. What on earth were they playing at? Cheese salesman. Yes. Perhaps I'm a, what do they call it? You know, those secret buyers. I've forgotten the proper word. Yeah, I do apologise, Frederick. I very much like to share as much as I'm able, but I'm fully aware of, what's the word? The way once data and information is out there, it can spread and be used. You know, for instance, I have disclosed that I live somewhere in the middle of the UK. I'm married with 3 daughters, etc. But I don't put any personally identifiable information. And unfortunately, that's one thing that I can't do. Yeah, a voice module, Tiffany. That's very nice. What the hell do you do with it? Oh, it modulates your voice. It covers up what you actually sound like. Oh, so you want to sound like a Dalek or something, Chrisma? So is that a bit of hardware or software? Mystery shoppers, that's it, Liam. Liam wins a Dairy Lee cheese triangle. Yeah, perhaps I'm a cheese mystery shopper, and if everyone knew that, I wouldn't be able to develop my career further. An auto-tuned voice, okay. SAS, the airline. Mr. Bond's assistant, yes, like it. Michelle, good to see you. This stream was later than it should have been, but I do appreciate you popping in. You take care. See you soon. Software, okay. Okay. All right. Well, you obviously have your reasons, Christmas. Hey, I'm not one to pry. I'll ask, and then I fully understand if people don't want to or are unable to say things. Yes, you can. I'll tell you what, Christmas. I'll tell you what. Let me just make sure. Right, Christmas. The sound is switched off to OBS. Okay, so if you come in the Discord, I can hear you. No one out here can. All right. So if you want to do that first and just see if you're happy with it, and I'll let you know if it's clear enough. So yes, you're in there. You've got permissions anyway. So all you got to do is come into the voice chat room called the Arena. Make sure you got headphones on, but give it a go. Just jump into the Arena. You should have that. And how's Borderlands 3 on PS4, mate? So hopefully Christmas is going to come in. Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. Yes. Yes. I love that. Anyone up for seeing the new Bond film then? I didn't see the trailer yet. Well, haven't seen the trailer yet. Still waiting for Christmas to come in. And then if he's happy, he can come onto the chat. We've always wondered what ASCII sounds like. Yeah, but Chris, you tell the kids of today, they won't believe you. Ah, Christmas, I can see you in there. Can you hear me? You're muted right now. I have made sure, and I can check again 1 second. Yes, Christmas, I can hear you. Yeah, okay, go on. Give me a countdown or something. I'm sorry. Hello. Oh dear. Okay. Well, I'm not getting feedback. Sorry, everyone out there who can only hear half the conversation. Well, let me know, Christmas. Do you want to come in onto the broadcast or not? It's up to you. You got some messing around to do. New game for Christmas. Guess Mr. Sensible's profession. So, Christmas, you tell me when you're ready, okay? I think he's having some issues. I think he's having to adjust. Now you're just hearing me back now, Christmas, or I just heard me back now. I don't know what's going on there. Yes, new game for Christmas. Guess Mr. Sensible's profession. The only problem with that is 27 is I'm the only one who enjoy it because I'm the only one who will know who gets close or who gets spot on, and I won't be able to tell anyone. Sorry about that. Chris, headphones not working. Okay, well, thank you anyway for trying, Chris. I do appreciate it. Blowfault impersonator with Arnold the Cat, yes. Yeah, never mind. You've obviously got permissions. You're welcome to come in anytime, okay? But do you realise you're still connected to the Arena, so you might want to disconnect, okay? Because otherwise you may accidentally get pulled in later on. Oh, Anonymous has got some advice for you. So feel free to keep tinkering. Cheesemonger. I'm a black belt in chirophilia. Right. Let's see. Because this is really, really on the fly right now, I'm going to see if I can open up another window, yet another one, see if I can get this video that I thought perhaps we could have a look at live together that I have not had a look at. I'll be honest, it would have been easier with some other people in the chat to talk about it rather, in the voice chat, because then they can interrupt as well. Let's go to the video. Right, I've got to set up window. Right, found the video anyway. Right, so if there's anyone else in the chat, I'm not sure who else is in here. Anonymous, my newest blue moderator. Would you like to? I don't know. Colon, if you feel free. Or Skyfly Brave, not been in for a while. Sarcastic Barman. Mr. Barman, good evening. Would you like to join me in Discord on the channel? Okay, because I have space. Space, give me space. And I'm looking to look at one of Anthony Riley's videos live. I'm just setting up the OBS to see if I can pick it up. So what do I want? I want the webcam. So let's move it around a bit, make it smaller. Live chat can go like that. Sorry about this. I know how unprofessional it is. My deepest apologies. Where was that from? My deepest apologies. Right, who have we got in here? We got sarcastic. Okay, barman. Right, 1 second. Fair warning to anyone else. We're going to broadcast the Discord. Mr. Sarcastic Barman, you are now live. How are you, sir?
Yay! Good evening, Squire.
Are you okay?
How's it going? Yeah,
Well,
not too bad. All set, ready for, because we've got shills later on. I thought,
okay.
you're live. I better jump in. Come and say hello. And then you said, who wants to come and see a video? Like, yeah, do it.
Well, what you have missed, I think, was the total cock up at the beginning of this stream. Do you use TubeBuddy?
No.
No.
That sounds like something that you'd wrap on your willy.
If it was, they'd charge a lot more money for it, wouldn't they? No, what it is, it's a browser bolt-on, and when you're in YouTube, it does all sorts of things, and it's some clever things. It tells you what keywords people are using. It helps you with keywords, search engine optimization to tell you if that's a good one to try and hit or not, and so on. And it's working okay. It gets a little bit in the way, but it was okay until tonight. I wanted to try and go live, but nothing was working. I could not get into the broadcast studio at all. It was just totally locked out. I had Colon.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I had Colon giving me suggestions and that, but it was a nightmare, total nightmare. And then I suddenly noticed a very quick flash of yellow, and it said bolt on YouTube, TubeBuddy. And I thought, what? Did it say that? And then it did it again. I thought, right. So I disabled it. Everything burst into life. It just wouldn't. Oh,
Nice.
nightmare.
It is something I should spend more time on my channel getting the right keywords and stuff like that. But especially on the tags, I go debunk, comedy, Mick take, and then I occasionally throw in silly words like your mum. And I've literally put that as tags on my videos before now, just because why not? I don't take this seriously at all.
Apparently not. Apparently not.
Well, I enjoy it. So that's the main thing for me. It's just doing it for the fun.
Well, if you don't enjoy it, there's no point, is there?
Very true.
And I have been enjoying it, you know. Sorry, just a heads up to people. The T-shirts that have appeared on the screen are part of a video. They're not mine. I have not.
It's the P-Brain video.
Yes.
I did this one the other day. This was my video last night.
Well, this is Riley's response jobby, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh, right.
Oh, so you've not seen it? Oh,
no,
good.
I haven't. I did P-Brain's video from the start of the month, and then my premiere for it went up last night. So, oh yeah, it says the 5th, so that will have only gone today. Yeah, I've not seen that.
Okay,
ooh, awesome.
we'll have a look at that in a second. We'll have a look. I do have... Oh, sorry, Erebad Huron. You don't need a cam, you just need a headset and a mic, okay? And come into my Discord, but I will have to see you in the Discord to give you permissions to get to the voice chat room, okay? But if you get yourself in there, they're great T-shirts. Right, what was I doing? I wanted to read out a super chat. April Van Ryn just super chatted $2 Canadian because she can. Wouldn't mind a wrench either. You do realise these blue wrenches are very rare. They're hard to come by, and they're not really
not
for
even
sale.
I've got a blue wrench.
Haven't you?
No, I don't.
Oh, Mr. Barman, you've not got a wrench.
No,
Well,
I don't mind really. It takes all the responsibility away.
Oh, well, the thing is, Mr. Barman, according to April Van Rin or Rhine, you would now owe me $2 Canadian because you are blue, sir. That was an oversight. I meant.
Oh no! That means I've got responsible and mute people and things. Though I got muted today in Casual Spaceman stream. He timed me out.
What have you done? Casual is the nicest and most easygoing guy I've met. What did you do?
I was in a funny mood. He was doing a rocket launch. I thought, right, that's it. It's CGI. It's fake. And I was just giving lots of silliness. So it was good. There was lots of chat in his chat. But he's like, no, right, that's it. You're muted out near the end of the stream. It's like, oh.
It was kind of funny.
Hello.
It was. Oh, who was that?
Who was that?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Adam Spunchik.
Oh, I wasn't.
Hey, Spunchik.
I was not far off, was I, Spunchik?
No, you were not. In fact, your pronunciation of my nickname is very, very, very.
Very. Oh, good. Oh, thank goodness. Well,
I'm lazy. I just say hi, SZ or SC.
Yeah, well, that's true. I
would purposely not try and make a prat of myself.
I've always found it interesting, and I must admit, I have learnt a lot of pronunciation by having a go at people's names and asking. And usually, people are quite pleased. You know, if I'm not taking a mickey out of him, saying that in various silly ways, I am making a genuine attempt to pronounce it, and then I'll ask how close I am, and I've done that with my patron Eadwulf Slitchfurter, and now I can say it. Oh, I've just seen a little dog running outside, so it looks as though Mrs. Sensible is just turning up, which means a cup of tea for me. Yay, cup of tea for me. Actually, I'll just go back on to... Sorry, go on.
I've got beer, so I'm quite happy. I've got a brewery called Wobbly, which does a nice beer called Wobbly Welder.
Oh, yeah.
We've already drunk. We're now on the Wobbly Rabbit. So, it's a nice 4% pale ale. It's lovely, to be fair.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. I seem to... Well, not missed. I can see that there's a couple of super chats, but I've lost my chat window. Oh, there it is.
Well, so I've got it if you want.
Yeah, I've got them there, but they have not appeared on OBS either. How weird.
Well, that's annoying.
Right, but I can see them on the screen. So, Mr. Carl Christofferson has super chatted 20 Swedish krona with a sticker, a Hey You sticker. Oh yeah, sex dance. Oh yeah, that's all you're getting for 20. And Mr. John Rapp has kindly donated 5 Australian. Keywords like shift, space, tab, alt, caps lock. Good day, everyone. Listening in at work again. We've got to talk about your choice of time zones.
Big shout out to John Rapp though, because he's awesome and he's always in the streams for the shills and so many other channels. Considering he is in Australia,
that is amazing, and we do realise it's tough to with time zones like that. Sorry, so yeah, I was saying, so I had all these cock-ups earlier on, and it got me all disorganised.
Botting on my end.
Sorry. Hello.
Botting on voice.
Me too.
Sorry, say again.
We're getting roboting.
From who? From me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Your
I'm not
server
getting
region
roboting, I'm getting a deeper voice.
Hold on. Is everything all right now?
It seems all right now. Yeah, it just happened.
I think I might have squished the controller on the headphone cable. I'll move that all out the way. Right, so I've got my chat window there. Sorry about this. Everything is just totally out of order. Lost my Discord as well. Do you know what? The one good thing about this is that so much has gone wrong tonight that I'm good to go for the next 3 months without errors. Let's have a look who we got. We have already in the room. We have Spunchik, Skyfly Bry, who's just said hello, Sarcastic Barman, Pie Parrot has jumped in, and my patron, Frederick Sigard, who I have never spoken to before. Good evening to you, Frederick.
Frederick's trying to talk, but we can't hear him.
I know, and I still have never spoken to Frederick Sigard.
No.
And I jumped in without saying hello, so hello.
But that's you all
Hi,
over.
bye. Or Pip.
Hello, Frederick. I'm not sure if that's just reacting to... No, it's not reacting to my voice.
Hello.
Oh,
There
yeah.
he
Good
is.
evening.
Hello, good
Hello.
evening,
Can
Frederick.
you hear me?
I can hear you now, sir.
Well,
How
I
are
can't
you?
hear myself.
No.
We can hear you, mate.
Can you hear us? If you can hear us, that's all you need.
Hold on.
Frederick, when you speak, you don't hear your own voice speaking. It's just like talking on the telephone.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
lovely.
Yeah.
We can.
Yeah, it's all good. Are you okay? It's good to finally talk to you anyway, Frederick. Frederick is one of my longest term patrons.
Major delay.
There will be, I'm afraid. It's always like that, about 15-second delay to what's on the video. You just have to sort of forget the video and just talk, really.
Yeah. Ignore video.
I mean, I've only got it open so I can check to make sure everything's going okay, you know?
You can, Mr.
I
Sensible,
have
if your
about
internet connection.
2 minutes delay.
Oh, 2 minutes. That's
wow.
way over. Yeah, it should be
Wow.
about 50.
Okay, so I would suggest for you to mute the video and just unmute the
We'll try.
Discord channel.
Yes, you
Yeah.
do need to listen on Discord, not listen on YouTube. Sorry, we never explained
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
You
Frederick,
can.
open, listen on Discord and mute the YouTube page, but keep it open.
So you can see it with a few second delay, but you hear the voice instantly through Discord. So while Frederick, So while Frederick is just trying that, just to reiterate, because there's some more people on the channel, hopefully a lot of you saw the live stream a few days ago with Jim Skipper, the ex-test senior test engineer from NASA. He is going to do a live stream with me. It looks like we're looking at a date sometime mid to late January, and
Okay,
I'm
Yay.
about to get
So,
a kick from Mrs. Sensible because our daughter's wedding's on the 18th. But I'm going to see if she can reschedule.
That sound.
Did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see the violence inherent in the system? Blimey. Top tip, watch my video tomorrow and see Mrs. Sensible. She makes an appearance unwillingly. She didn't realise, nor did I until I was uploading it. What else we got here? Frederick, if you can hear me, I've just seen your DM message. May you join? Of course you can join. Sorry, I've only just seen that. As I'm sure you can gather, it's hard to keep an eye on so many things. And I'm missing out on chat. Right, Chef Alan, you saw it the day after. Hopefully, I think I saw your comment. Hope you enjoyed it. Colon says, Mrs. S, you put the foot down, hun. Jado, good evening, hello. Touchpad, that is so right. Touchpad has suggested we just live stream from the wedding. You could see.
sure that'll go down well.
Yeah, you could see.
Don't get tempted.
You could see my speech. Right hook, Mr. Sensible. It'll probably be coming in.
Mr. S,
Yes.
if you do the stream about 11 o'clock, most of the wedding would have wound down. And if it's a reasonable hotel, it'll have a good internet connection. Just take your laptop, post a video on the screen, and just do it all through voice. You'll be fine.
This is true.
You might be slightly drunk if it's your daughter's wedding.
No, I probably wouldn't. Probably wouldn't. I don't really drink much.
Yeah, but it's a wedding and it's your daughter's. I think it's against the law if you don't, mate.
Is that right? I just want to jump in to say 1 minute debunk. My 1 minute video channel, which is challenge offer invite. I do want you to submit one 30 seconds long. It'll be fun, okay? Actually, I have mentioned it to a few people. I think I DM'd you, didn't I, SB?
You did.
About it. Yeah, so basically I've got 2 calls out. One is for 1 minute flat earth or conspiracy or anti-vax or something like that, debunk videos, open to anyone. Not worried about video editing quality or anything like that. You can just shoot it on a smartphone, just cut together or whatever. Nothing fancy needed. What I'm looking for is 1 minute videos, and then depending how many I receive and how it fits together, I'll either do an episode of 1 minute debunks, or we'll do a live stream like this, but a proper one without screwing up, and we'll play people's 1 minute debunks so we can talk about it. So that's one invite open to absolutely everyone. The other one, which really is aimed more at creators like Sarcastic Barman and anyone else, is during this 3-week period in January, because we've got the wedding, got lots of organising beforehand, and Mrs. S has told me that I really, really want to take her away after the wedding. I'm not going to be around much. It's going to be really hard to fill my slots. So I thought this is a win-win opportunity. If I can get other creators to provide an episode for me that I just put a wrapper on saying, hi, this is me. Tonight we've got Sarcastic Barman covering for me. He has his video, and at the end I thank him very much and whatnot. It means I get a slot filled. You guys who perhaps hadn't heard of Sarcastic Barman, although I'm sure you have, and you should check out his channel, but if you hadn't, you'd see what his stuff's like, and hopefully it gets more subs for them, and it's a win-win-win situation, I thought. So that's what it's about, Barman.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, you've got 6 times the subscribers as me, so I'm hoping to pinch a couple by doing you a good video. And I won't swear much in it either.
Okay. I'd like that kept to a minimum. But yes, absolutely. I've got more subscribers. So a lot of those subscribers are not your subscribers. A lot of mine may have not seen you. So it's a chance for them to see you.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps me as well, because it means my viewers and subscribers still get some output from my channel, even if I'm not around. So yeah, I think it's a win-win. So we'll do that.
Awesome. I've got to do roughly the same because we're away for 2 weeks in January as well, around the same sort of time as you.
Well, that might be difficult for me to cover, but I did actually think it's not a bad idea. So that, for instance, if in June you're going away for a week and you want some cover on your channel, do you know what I mean? Swings and roundabouts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yes.
So that sounds good. That's a deal then. So Frederick, have you got yourself working now?
Oh, everything's gone quiet.
It has gone quiet. Interesting thing, those two super chats that came in, the one with the sex dance, and what was the other one? I'm just scrolling back.
I don't know if you can hear me now.
Oh, yes, I can hear you now, Frederick.
Oh, okay, less delay. Now I just have to figure out how to put the sound coming out from the computer into my headset, which I haven't figured out yet.
Okay, yeah. I think you've got push to talk switched on. I think if you right click on your name, I think there's probably an option.
I do have push to talk, just in case.
Okay, that's fine if you're happy with that. But it's just to make sure you knew you didn't have to. Yeah, you should just be able to plug in your headphones into your laptop, and that's it. But I'll let you tinker with that then for a minute, because I've got another super chat which I nearly missed. I do apologise, because for whatever reason they are not appearing on OBS. Everything's a bit glitchy tonight. From Mr. Carl Christofferson, who is now paid 30 Swedish krona for a fist bump with a fist bump sticker, and it's Swedish krona, so it's another sex dance. I think I should make a rule. After this one, it's a rule. It'll be a maximum of one per show. What do you reckon? Mrs. Sensible is now going to give you a sex dance. Go on. Apparently not. Carl, you've wasted your money. Oh yeah. Who started this? Was it Fine? I can't remember.
The dances.
Or
I
team?
think it was.
Skeptic.
Team.
Oh, was it Skeptic first, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm scrolling down. I don't know what's going on. I just see a message from April Van Ryn saying I'd like to be pinched. I must have missed. I know, I've missed part of the conversation there. Touchpad, do you think Miss Sensible will get suspicious if you fake an illness each evening and stream from the toilet a bit while on holiday? What, you mean like Anthony Riley? But then, how do you know that this is not a fancy rotating commode and I'm very relaxed? Can you pass the paper, love?
Too much leather.
Oh dear.
Finally got it working.
Excellent. Finally, Frederick Sigard, finally, I can say thank you very much for your long-term patronage. I really, really appreciate it.
My pleasure, Master Cheesemaker.
Master Cheesemaker. Do you know what? The only person who can't hear this is Mrs. Sensible, because of course I'm listening on headphones. She only hears my half of the conversation. Yeah, Frederick, you've been there right from the start from me, and I won't forget it. Thank you.
My pleasure.
And I've just seen that Carl Christopherson, after his 30 krona sex dance, says that I need to up it every time. Oh, we see, up the Swedish...
Sexier and sexier.
Well, either make it sexier and sexier, or higher and higher krona.
More sexy.
Hey. So, Spunchik, please, tell us a little something about yourself. You got a channel? What do you do?
Well, I myself, well, I'm a member of, let's say, YouTube family.
Yeah.
I have my account set. On my channel, you can find, I think, one video that helps people with setting up the game and video settings for certain game, and which was made when I was not really too good with myself. But lately, I have got enough of I would say stupidity on the internet, and after watching your valuable content and your pointing out the stupidity on the internet, as well as other content creators such as IE Sarcastic Barman as well, which I follow already.
Hey, Barman.
And a few others in here. I decided to take my voice in few, I would say, panels. I visited lately Jose J.G. Gonzalez panel several times. I made a visit to Ranty, the Globe Hero.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's a funny one.
Panel as well, and you know, it's just I'm staying behind. I'm trying to come in when I can, and you know,
just on voice.
Put my voice in the, and maybe the way I see things. Because what I did notice, most of the banking side people are talking too, I would say, complex language. And I think it requires, for those on the bench, it really does require more simple language. And I try to speak the language that I will understand, and trust me, I'm not anywhere high level experienced or educated person, but I see the things I see my way, and supported with physics and a bit of knowledge I gained from watching channels like this one.
Well, thank you. But I say, Spunchik, I am not highly educated. You know, I've not got a degree. A lot of it I've picked up from elsewhere, or someone will say something and I think I don't know that, or I don't understand that, so I go and find out. Which is one thing, of course, flat earthers don't. I don't understand that. I'll make crap up. That's it. We're good. That's
Every
rubbish.
normal person that, with his own standing, can inform themselves about anything. It's ridiculous that people just assume and watch YouTube videos and they suddenly have the infused knowledge of the universe.
Yes. Well, I mean, there's so much to learn, isn't there? There's so much that's amazing. I mean, what was it?
Never stop learning.
No.
No, then you die.
Yes, yes. but of course,
someone smart, if I may interrupt,
of course.
Someone smart once said, my how do you say, my edge of knowledge is on the event horizon,
Yeah.
and I wish to get to this point.
That's a good quote. Who said it?
To be honest with you, I do not know. I do not remember. But
That's actually the perfect answer for that, because now everyone can go and learn something and find out.
I've just seen that John Rapp just commented. I was just scrolling back through the chat saying that Rider of Dinosaurs made the sex dance music video. Yes, he did. And then I ripped it off with my 3K sex dance video. So if you like, it's basically Riders with some extra stuff chucked on top. So do go and have a look at it. There is another super chat. My pronunciation has been corrected. April Van Rijn. $5 Canadian, saying Rhine is pronounced Rhine like the Rhineland. I'd really like a wrench so it can't be deleted. Listen, April, nobody gets deleted here unless, I think the only thing I can think of is if someone was carrying out hate speech or something like that, something really abusive and unacceptable. No one will get deleted for comments, you know, ordinary decent comments. They can disagree as much as they want. And if ever you were booted for something, have you been booted? I hope not, because I've never seen anything improper coming from you, and I just don't see why that should even be a concern. All right.
But if something goes wrong, you can be rebooting your computer.
Oh, Fresher, it's really clear now.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yes, I have 3 degrees, Mr. Sensible.
Oh yes.
Yes, it's just a single from the 70s.
Yes, I was waiting for that. Yes. So I basically, in school, through middle and the start of my upper school, I was doing really well, and then there was a lot of personal issues which totally screwed me up, and at that point staying on further was going to do me no good. However, I got it up here where it counts. I just was never able to formulate. There you go. I'm not sure in English. Is it formulate it? Formalize it? I never took more advanced exams and study. However, I have been learning through all my life as well. Yes. So where are we? Yes. And that super chat literally just come through. It took 4 minutes to appear. So if ever anyone does super chat, if I've missed it on the chat and I don't say anything, it may be that it's just a long time till I get the alert. That's weird. Normally they're quicker than that. So we still got yeah. So Frederick, I never push anyone for any information they don't want to give, because I won't give out any information about me that I'm not happy to give. I mean, you asked earlier on about what I do, but is there anything about yourself you can share that you want to share?
Sure. I have a background in electronics. I worked in IT for many, many, many years. then got tired of it and decided to work in video production. I mostly worked behind the camera, of course, and I do have this want to be in front of the camera one day. Probably have my own YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe. But presently, I work at a cultural arts center, which actually promotes technology as an art form,
Wow.
with expressing the art through virtual reality. So that pretty much sums it up.
Okay. I came from an IT background. I think I have shared that before. I worked in IT for the thick end of 20 years, starting off on mainframes, going through PCs and going through to Unix boxes and then onto PCs and websites. But that all finished about 16 years ago. So an IT background.
Yeah, I worked on Linux IRIX on SGI, AIX on IBM. Linux, not so much, but I did a lot of PC, of course. That was the main of it.
Yes.
My first computer was a Commodore 64.
Nice. My first computer that I owned was a VIC 20, which is by Commodore as well.
Yeah, it is. And I've started actually a few years ago a collection of vintage computers. And I don't know how many I have right now. Most of them still unboxed, believe it or not.
So, still boxed, you mean? Unopened?
They're used, but they're still in their boxes.
Fantastic.
I may make a mini museum.
Yes.
Just for the fun of it.
Well, did you see that piece of IT kit? I did show it a couple of weeks ago. Did you see that piece of IT kit that I've got from the 60s?
I think I missed that one.
1 second. Where is it? Oh, 1 second. I'll just grab it and you'll see it on the screen. Hold on. Okay, I rescued this as it was about to be thrown in the skip. Oh dear! Can you see that?
I'll eventually see it, I guess.
Yeah, it'll come up. I'll keep holding it for now. It shouldn't be too long.
While we're waiting for it, Mr. S, I'm going to have to love you and leave you because I've just realised the time.
Yeah,
Damn it.
Oh, you're going to be trouble with the shields.
I'll catch you next time,
Okay.
and hopefully I'll get to see that video later. But thank you for having me on. Oh, the video's updating. Are we going to see what it was?
Yes. Let's see.
It's coming, it's coming, it's coming.
Ooh.
Da, da, da.
Funky.
Oh.
I was actually live on that show.
Wow.
So can you tell us what that is then, Fred?
Oh, that's beyond. I think that's before my time.
It was before mine as well. It is.
Well, before mine.
It is an ICT, which was International Computers and Tabulators, which was the forerunner of ICL, International Computers Limited. It's a computer hand punch. So you put the cards in here, and you use that to punch the holes for the card readers. And they were throwing. I have to put it down. It weighs an absolute ton. Honestly, it weighs about £10. It's cast iron frame. It's not going anywhere.
What are you going to do with it?
Well, I've had it since about 1986 because I couldn't bear to see it thrown out. I did try and track down to get a valuation of it, but never found anywhere until about 6 months ago. I even contacted Fujitsu, who are the company that bought out ICL, and they said we can't put a value on it. But I found a company that had a photo of one extremely similar, but was in poorer condition, but they had sold it, so the price wasn't available. So I did ring the guy up, and I think he said about £500, but he'd buy it for about 50. So no, I'm going to keep it.
Yeah.
A piece of history.
And who knows? Maybe in 10 years, it's going to be like really worth a lot.
Yeah,
take good care of it.
Well, I have been taking good care of it, and it was fully working. Unfortunately, a few years back, one of my kids managed to tip it over or put it up on its side, and there must be a spring inside which is detached, and now it's all locked up. So it
Or
really,
tried to cram an apple in there.
well, no, no. I think it's literally, it was upside down, which is not a position it ever should be in, and I think something's come unhooked, the return spring, so it's gone so far along, and I can't get it to go back again. And Heatshield says, you need that to send that to me. Why do you collect stuff like that? Yes, Valve Man, clean it up and put it on a nice wood stand. Yeah, that really was the intention, but since 1986 I haven't got around to doing it. And yeah, it would look lovely cleaned up, but it would be even better if I can work out what's wrong with it. I'm quite capable when it comes to things like that, taking things to bits carefully and working out what's wrong, fixing them and getting them going again. So maybe I will, but it's having the time to do it, isn't it?
Yeah. Never use water, by the way.
No.
You can probably dip it in isopropyl alcohol and then put some silicone grease on the moving parts.
Yeah, but I don't think it's that sort of what's the word? It's not sort of bunged up like that. I think it's something physical.
No, but just to get at least a good cleanup.
Yes.
And then from there you can probably debug it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would like to. It'd be a nice little project. I mean, I've done other little projects like my marine fish tank that I set up. That's all computerized. I designed that on some CAD software. Got the aquarium custom built, which actually is surprisingly not that much more expensive than just buying a standard one, and it fits exactly. But I designed all sorts of stand. I designed all the plumbing. I designed the way all the sensors would work with the dedicated computer system, and it all works beautifully. I'd never done that before. I just found out and learned and loved it.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'd like to do though is a replica of an Altair 8080.
I'm trying to think what. No, I can't place that.
It's one of the first personal computers ish, if you will. It was before the Apple One and before any of that stuff. Have you ever watched the film Pirates of Silicon Valley?
No.
It was really interesting. It was like more or less like the beginning stories of Bill Gates and Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
And what was the name of the right hand of Bill Gates? I forget his name. He just went to the dorm room because they were in college back then. And said, wake up, we're behind, we have to do something. And what, he shows a magazine with the Altair 800 or 880. And then he says, we have to. So they started to work on their DOS or whatever they were doing back then. I forget exactly the history. But yeah, it was a small, very small computer, which you just put some card slots behind.
Yes.
You had the CPU, you had the ROM in one, the RAM in another, and it was like, I forget the exact details, but all the peripherals were all handled by a separate card instead of like everything integrated that we see now today.
But of course,
computers.
In the early days of PCs, you needed a lot of cards for extra bits and
you
pieces.
had the CPU, the RAM, the ROM,
yes.
everything. Basic stuff was all on the motherboard, but that particular version was not.
No, it's fascinating stuff, and I mean, I still think it's amazing. Take the side off the computer and look at the motherboard, and realise how much is in it, how much technical skill and development, and the way it's advanced since I first started. I mean, you said you had a Commodore 64, I had a VIC-20, which was 5K RAM, 3.5K usable. I mean, it's just ridiculous, or it seems ridiculous now. Oh yes, some observer says his first computer was a Texas Instruments, a TI 49. Yeah, recording on cassette tapes. Yes, you did that with a VIC-20, and I think you did with a Commodore 64 as well, didn't you?
Yep, that was my first recording device, and then I got a drive.
Yeah.
Now I have a ton of them.
But
ton, but not that much. The interesting thing about the TI is the music that it created, I think, was actually a tad better than Commodore 64 and a lot better than the VIC-20.
Yes, and Commodores were quite. I mean, they were quite good, really, weren't they?
Oh yeah, they were.
Because I mean, before that you had the ZX80 and ZX81. I'm not sure if the Spectrum came out before the VIC-20 and 64 or not.
I'm not sure.
They were pretty much
quite
around the
popular.
same. Do you remember there was one home computer? I think it was the Jupiter Ace. Did you ever see that? The only language you could use on it was Fortran.
Oh my God, no.
So I don't think that sold very well.
Was it meant to be a business computer?
Well, I remember going into sort of big department store in a town near me, looking at the various computers, and I felt really advanced because I could do some basic programming, and
Yes.
they had that in. That was one of the machines that was in there. So potentially some poor sap could have thought, "I'll buy that for little Johnny for Christmas," not knowing. Yes, oh, that's fun.
Might as well have been COBOL.
Hey, that was my first bit. I loved COBOL. That was my first job was COBOL, and that bought me my house. So
For the Y2K bug issue?
No, it was before then, way before then. And I remember writing. I wrote some software or worked on a project. We did the electoral registration system for most of the councils across the UK, and that was written in COBOL. Teamed up with the company I worked for. They had. Did you ever come across IBM's KICS software or ICL's TPMS?
No, I haven't.
Okay, it's transaction processing software. Things like you know, like at estate agents a few years ago, the flight booking systems, just green screen. It was that sort of stuff, but it was an electoral registration system. But the logic was written in COBOL. And that was great fun. I loved it. And Mr. Paul Reap, thank you very much, sir, has super chatted $5 US, saying very nice. I think it was following some of the stuff you were just talking about the Altair. Very nice, almost as much fun as rebuilding a Commodore 64. Oh, and someone said about a Sharp MZ80K. Yes.
There is a community right now that's very active on rebuilding new devices for either the Commodore 64, the Amiga, TRS-80s. Take, for example, the Commodore. You can have little adapters to have a dual SID chips where it will transform your Commodore 64 3-voice to 6. Dual VIC chip where you can swap between NTSC and PAL. You have SD to IEC, which is basically an SD card that replaces the floppies, which you can have all the programs from the Commodore that ever existed on a single SD card.
Yes.
It's incredible.
I know, SD cards are amazing.
The revival is amazing.
Yes. Hugh Jas has just commented KICS COBOL. That's it. IBM had KICS and ICL had TPMS. And the company I work for produced an equivalent to TPS and equivalent to TPMS, and it was actually more successful than ICL's own software, and they ended up selling it for us because it was so much better. And there was another comment someone said, I can't see it. COBOL programmed it in years. Who was that? Philippines Colin. Yeah, but I did like COBOL. It was very wordy, and of course it was not designed for mathematics or anything like that. It was for mass handling of data, and it did that extremely well. What languages did you use then, Fred?
Basically C.
Yes.
Basic, Visual Basic, SQL. Well, it's not really programming, but
yeah. Well, you got
language,
it is a query language, isn't it?
Yeah, assembly mostly when I developed on microcontrollers. And what else? I didn't use the. I learned in school Pascal and what's the other one? Fortran.
Yes.
Never COBOL.
Yeah, well, I hated Fortran. I learned Pascal. They tend to use that as a teaching language, don't they?
Yeah.
C I use, but I came from the OCL background, so I had COBOL, which of course is across lots of machines, but there was an assembly language on the ICL machines called SFL. I used that. It was great.
If you count when I was really little, does logo count?
Those
Remember
little,
that is.
those little robot things drawing on paper. Is that the ones?
It's a little like a turtle type of triangle.
Yes.
That just, okay, go left, right, it draws a line, go up, it goes, and this number of pixels, it goes up. It was like a way to introduce programming to kids.
Absolutely.
Well, I was a kid back then, so.
And that's brilliant. That's exactly what it's for, and it works.
Yeah, it does.
Oh yeah, you mentioned Visual Basic. I used that as well. That was a development environment I used on PC. I really enjoyed Visual Basic, but I didn't really get on with C. Don't know. It never grabbed me much. I don't know why.
Well, in this particular instance, I use C or a variation of C++ on Arduinos. If you
yes,
know anything about those,
I've never used them, but I've heard of them. Yeah.
Okay, so it's very practical. They don't have anything else, I think. Maybe assembler.
Yes.
But who wants to do that anyway nowadays?
I know. It's quite sad, really, because I mean, it's a lot of work to do that. But boy, can you make efficient code and fast code.
True. I used to work at a company called CAE. They make those real life flight simulators.
Yes.
And they had back then, well, PCs weren't powerful enough. They didn't have those nice graphic cards and everything. All was done, all the processing, all the visual systems were done with SGIs and ADM AIX systems for the control systems. And the people that were testing the databases wanted to fly into them on their local systems, but they had no option but to have a serial port joystick, which costed about $3,000. So I said, no. I can probably build you something that will get you to use a off-the-shelf gaming joystick. And so I did. It was all done in assembler using a PIC microcontroller, and it worked.
Wow.
And my boss was amazed. Wow, you can do that? Yep.
See, I mean, mine was definitely more at the business level, my computing, rather than that sort of low level stuff. The reason I had assembly is the transaction processing monitor for the company that I worked for, where I wrote the electoral registration system. I later went into the technical support, and the software itself was written in assembly, and I was supporting that. And we had those full-size filing cabinets, like great big wardrobes. We had 3 of those, and that was just the listing of the code. It was massive, but it was great times, very good times. But do you know what, Fred? I think we've bored the pants off of everyone else.
I was going to say, all this talk about computers is boring people. Let's talk about sleeping well.
All right. Yeah. Flurf talk.
Well, I've got his latest video here. Shall we put it on and see what he has to say? Honestly,
please.
I have not watched it. Let me just get the screen set back up again. I'll just transfer that across. So it starts off with his T-shirts. I'm not quite sure what that's about. Let me jiggle windows around to make sure I'm looking at the right thing. Oh, here we go.
You should see it in about 15 minutes. 15 seconds.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another P-Brain video. I want to talk about a very simple debunk of the spinning ball model. Just go outside, right? Look up at the sky. All right? Look at the stars. Now, you're looking at trillions and trillions and trillions of miles, gazillions of miles. See those stars? They say they're so far away that it's unimaginable, and we don't even see it all. Now, they're telling us that that's a vacuum. up there.
Trained. He was a commercial pilot. With
So
Bri,
our little atmosphere here
Bri,
on
you're
Earth
talking
is
all
like
over the
the
video,
thinness
mate.
of a razor blade
Oh, sorry, I didn't know.
compared
Sorry, mate. I'll
to
be
a
quiet.
million miles or more, billion miles.
Not hearing
That's
it.
how
You're not
vast
hearing it.
this vacuum is. Now, they want us to believe that we could have atmospheric pressure, gas pressure, sitting here
I'm going to
in
pause it a
amongst
second.
this.
I just realised we've got a problem. You can hear me talking, but you can't hear the video. When you see the video, you're not going to hear it because you've not got your window on, have you?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So I think you'll have to switch your sound on the window, and we'll just have to deal with any echo.
Yeah, just mute in the Discord and go to the YouTube and watch it there.
Yeah, we'll watch it all and then we'll pick it to bits, shall we? Okay.
Vacuum. I mean, this is one of the simplest debunks. And it's really ridiculous that they, I mean, I guess people haven't challenged it. People have been busy living their lives and working, but it's being challenged now, and it's being obliterated, really, the spinning ball. And really, one of the easiest ones is this. As I look into the sky, there's no way that's a vacuum. How can you have a vacuum next to pressure? I mean, first of all, you could argue that you need a container, first of all, to have gas pressure. But they're saying there is no container. There's no barrier between us and the vacuum. Do you know how strong the vacuum of space would be? NASA has a vacuum chamber, and they say the walls are 6 to 8 feet thick.
Oh, not again.
All right? If you don't have 6 to 8 feet thick walls, you may see this. Take these big tanker train cars.
No.
They suck the air out of this, and they implode because the air is trying to get to the vacuum. They're creating a vacuum inside, right? So you need to have those 6 to 8 foot thick walls that would separate us from the vacuum.
I'm going to pause that there. The reason that tanker claps like that is it's not designed. It's designed to contain a liquid, not even necessarily under pressure. It's certainly not designed structurally to resist the force from outside, unlike those vacuum chambers. Also, the vacuum chamber, it doesn't need 6 foot of concrete, but it would need to be thicker than that tank. That's just misleading. I mean, that shows the weight of the atmosphere, but it doesn't mean we can't make something hold a vacuum without it collapsing. I'll carry it on now.
But there is no such thing.
If I may
Yes.
have my say.
Of course, Spongy.
It has been clearly demonstrated in one of the videos I have been watching lately. The thing is,
Are you talking about Simon Dan's video?
Chamber they are showing at NASA is built with these thick walls because they have tested in the ships with some radioactive
well
things on it, so that's why they needed these thick walls.
Yeah, well,
the real chamber is made of
aluminium.
I don't know, aluminium.
It is aluminium
inside.
Yeah, if you have a look at my last video about Sleeping Warrior, I did a debunk of his whole talk about that. That vacuum chamber they were showing is the Plum Brook vacuum chamber. And yes, the concrete wall, the facility was designed so that they could test probes or whatever, which are nuclear powered. However, they never have. They never have ever done it. But that's why those walls are there that thick. Between the outer walls and the inner chamber, they do actually reduce the pressure to about 20 torr, which is a 38th of the atmosphere. But within, they go down to 2 times 10 to the negative 6 torr. And I know because I still have the paperwork here on my desk from my research. So yeah, have a look at that afterwards. I think, what was it I called it? Does anyone recall the name I gave that video? I should be able to tell you in a second. But then straight after that video, Spunchik, did you not see my live stream with the NASA test engineer?
I have seen the live stream well, I started to watch the video, then I have seen the live stream, then I finished the video.
Okay, yeah, because it was my Sleeping Warrior versus NASA. That was when I was talking about that very same Plumbrook chamber, because other NASA chambers do not have 6-foot concrete walls because they weren't designed to test nuclear stuff, just to hold a vacuum.
How many was the of the other ones? Like,
well, there's
7, 8?
I don't know, but one of them, because Plumbrook is big, it's very big. It's 100 foot across, 110 or 120 tall, but they've got, I think it's chamber A at 50 meters across and about 90 feet tall, something like that. But basically, they don't require those thick concrete walls. They were there for that was there for another reason. So
exactly, because I remember you have shown smaller ones for
yes,
testing the suits, the well, all the other stuff, depending on the size.
absolutely. And I'll tell you what.
Yeah,
After this video, if we're still talking, I'll pull up some pictures that I've got. Should we carry on with this video and see what else he's got to say? We're about 2/3 the way through anyway. Okay, I'll let it go.
They take rockets and they supposedly fly up into space. Actually, they're just, going out over the ocean and dunking the parts in the ocean, and the plane, whatever they're shooting up there goes nowhere. But they're telling us that's what's happening. But you'd have to have a barrier for us to keep our gas pressure, because look at how hard the pressure wants to go fill that empty space.
Go ahead.
Right? So they do 6 to 8 foot thick walls to keep their little vacuum chamber from imploding. And these tank cars, you can see them implode. That's the power of the vacuum next to air pressure. And that's it. Clearly, NASA needs 6 to 8 foot thick walls to keep their little building there from imploding. You can see these tank cars implode. They don't have 6 to 8 foot thick walls. So this is what happens when you have a vacuum next to gas pressure or atmospheric pressure or air pressure like we have here on Earth. So right there, busted. It's not real. Simple debunk. All right, everybody, if you haven't bought a shirt, please do. Go check them out at my store.
Nah.
There's a link in the description. I got a couple.
Keep your shirts. I'll get rid of that window now. So that's about to end. That's good. Right, did you guys... Oh, it's just about to end for you, isn't it? So you're still in his Spunchik?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got some photos. Let me just bring them up because I kept them from making a video. Yeah, so they can't grasp the fact that that's a container that's designed just to hold a liquid. It's not designed to resist any pressure. So yeah, it does show you how much pressure can affect things, but that example did not show that it can't be done.
How about submarines?
Yes, of course. They're resisting more pressure, aren't they?
Well, I think with every meter you are getting 1 atmosphere, gaining, sorry, 1 more atmosphere of pressure.
I think that's about right. Yes. Yeah.
So my first question to every flat earther is: did you ever dive, or did you ever put your head below 1 meter of water?
Oh, that's an excellent question, actually.
Followed by, did you feel a change in the pressure on your eardrums as you were going down? It all begins.
You should make a video of that one.
I'll save it for Nathan.
Yeah, what
For the moment, until now, I busted. Well, I made Runner Warrior, make a runner, like 3 times, including Runty the Globe Hero chat. And I'm looking forward to destroy Nathan Oakley's little echo chamber. So yeah,
I have a question.
Mr. Sensible and all the other debunkers for teaching me what I've learned by heart.
Well, I am just trying to bring up this image. I've got an image. Why isn't it showing it? I've not actually used this image capture thing for some reason. Let's get rid of a couple of these.
The pressure in water actually go down every 10 metre is equivalent to 14.5 pounds per square inch, which is different in the air. When you climb up in an aircraft, every 1,000 feet is the same as 10 metres in the water.
Can we use the Tor as a value?
Tor?
Well, Tor means 0, basically. 10 to the minus 17 Tor. It's an arbitrary number. You can't go below 0, can you? It's like a negative.
No, but it's not. It's
zero
not
to Earth space. But when you're down to Earth, it's I forget 17. But when you go down in the water, is it measured in Tor?
No, it's measured in either pounds per square inch or meters per square inch or whatever.
Well, it would be, yeah, but you could measure it in Tor, I'm sure. But just up on screen now,
relative.
Just up on screen now is NASA's Chamber A. That is the largest one that I showed. It's smaller than Plum Brook, but that is. You look at the people stood at the bottom of the door. Can you see them there? That is humongous.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah. Now, but there are no 6-foot thick concrete walls around it. That's the one that they used for testing Apollo capsules and things like that. So yeah, it's huge. So you can obviously that's bigger than that tanker they showed, but you can see it's got structural support ribs and so on, which that tanker didn't. That tanker was no more than a Coke can, really. But there's another one as well. I'm just going to see if I can change the image over now. I seem to have got the hang of it. I just got to browse for it. Here we go.
Shout out to Blue Marble Science in the chat.
Just bring the next one over. And this one that's coming up next is one that was for man testing, and I think it was called Chamber B. I don't recall the size of it. But it was in one of these chambers that the guy who's on my stream, so someone's chomping away at a can of Coke or crisps or something on the Discord. I don't know who it is. Is that you, Nine? There you go. It's just appeared on the screen. That's the one that's used for testing spacesuits and so on. So it would be a chamber like that, if not that very same chamber that Jim Skipper was in his Gemini suit. It's you, 9 o'clock.
Bugger! I'm just rolling up. It's me backy pack.
Oh, well, just mute your mic. You just give me a game. That's all right. That's all right.
Just 1 second.
Yeah. So
I've got something to say in a minute.
Okay. So these chambers do not have. You're still unmuted. These chambers just do not have 6-foot thick walls around them. So it proves that what they're saying is a load of rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
anything the flat earthers say is a load of rubbish.
Well, it seems that way, doesn't it?
Definitely.
And just for 9 o'clock hero, Stephen Huxtable in chat said, "Who is eating?" Ha! You've been busted.
I'm not eating. It's the missus. She's in bed behind me.
And he's cracking the can.
Yeah.
I'm
Excuses.
rolling a cigarette.
Can you mute until you talk, then, please? Thank you.
I'm trying. I've lost the plot here. Just 1 second.
Okay.
There we go.
Now, someone was talking about submarines, and Observer has put in chat that a submarine at 500 feet deep, he thinks, has around 600 psi, which, when you compare that to 14.7, well, it shows you 14.7 is nothing. Absolutely nothing.
And where does this all pressure come from?
Yes.
Gravity.
Love. It really wants to get...
No, don't say the G word.
No. This is what I don't understand. You know, when Riley keeps going about relative density disequilibrium and the denser things go down. Okay, I can understand the denser thing would be below the less dense thing. But what is making either of them want to go down? That's the thing. He says, oh, it's not gravity. Gravity's not a force. Okay, well, what do you want to call it? Do you want to call it downity? Whatever. Something is making it want to go downwards. Even if...
Excuse me. One question, yeah?
Yeah.
As far as I know, down to laws of physics, if anything is more dense than the surroundings or the let's say environment it's in, would it not want to escape to a lower density environment?
Yep. So you're talking entropy there, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So how come without gravity do we have anything?
Absolutely. And as I said in my video, why doesn't the air at ground level want to shoot up to the top of Everest and beyond? And
I'd say not because of gravity. In this case, it's because of logic.
Yes, well, we know that, but that's a question for our friends who
cannot think.
Those are the ones.
Yeah.
An observer's just commented that spacesuits are only inflated to something like 4 psi. That's absolutely right, and I confirmed that with Skipper. And he said they're usually between 3 and 4 psi, but they have to be a much higher oxygen mix because there's a lot less gas in there. They can go down. They can go down as far as 2.7, but below that, people just slip into unconsciousness.
Or they'd look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Well, yeah. If you had 14.7. They'd be absolutely rigid. They wouldn't be able to bend them. Although the reason they can have higher PSI is the more modern suits are better with regard to flexibility anyway, the way they're designed, or joints or whatever. So they can run at a higher PSI. But yeah, it doesn't need to be high, you just need enough oxygen in there. So yeah, I don't understand that. They say density requires a container. The only thing gradient requires a container. I don't understand that, because if it's fading to zero, what's it doing at the top? What's the lid doing? There's nothing there to do anything with. It's all below that.
It's the same as the sea. There's a gradient in the sea. Obviously, the pressure of the water.
Absolutely.
You go, the more pressure you get.
Yeah.
When you get to the top of the water, there's no magic dome over the top of it to prevent the water from going up into the air. Obviously, you get evaporation due to heat from the sun, but that's basically the same way the Earth works with the atmosphere, with the air. The air is basically the same as the sea, but on a slightly different scale.
And if we were in a closed container, according to, I think it was second law of the thermodynamics, where you had one container with gas and vacuum, and you open
Sorry,
and values
Spunchik.
of the pressure.
Spunchik, I think you're cutting out, chap.
If there was a dome over the Earth and we were containing
You're cutting out now, Bri.
gases from the exhaust from cars and motorbikes and that, and aircraft, and all the chimneys and stuff that going up into the air, and fires and bonfires, would choke us to death.
Well, the thing is, it still might do, because there is no extraterrestrial oxygen supply. But the thing is, how do we have a pressure gradient? Because if we are in a closed container, the pressure should be same all over the container.
Yeah, but not in a
if we had no gravity, and well, if there was a container and we had gravity, then there would be a pressure gradient. But as we do not have a container, we do have a pressure gradient. So, well, anyway, if we do or don't have a container, we still have a pressure gradient, which means we are subjects to gravity. So, and if we have gravity, we cannot live on the flat Earth, because it will collapse into the ball.
Absolutely.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Fred.
When in the history of flurfness has gravity become a non-issue, or which I say not a thing? Because in the past they used to say that the flying disc, or that pizza that they have,
Yep.
accelerated at 8.9 meters per square meters per second square.
Other way around.
Meters per second square, whatever.
Yeah.
Eventually, would reach at light speed at, I don't know how much time, how many time, a couple of years maybe.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I know that on a Flat Earth forum I used to go on, someone put that forward. They called it UA, Universal Acceleration. And basically, the disk is accelerating up at 9.8 meters per second. But then someone pointed out, well, several problems, one of which is eventually you'd reach the speed of light and it wouldn't take too long. What then? But also, if the moon and sun are circling above us, why aren't we crashing into them? You know, why? And what about the stars? Why haven't we caught up with them? And what would happen if you jumped up in the air? Why would you?
If it was a flat Earth and it was accelerating upwards, any flat bodies of waters that was contained would separate from the middle outwards, like a swimming pool. You'd have a dip in the middle.
Would it though? I'm not sure it would.
Yes, of course it would, because you've got a pressure going upwards, so the water would sink down, but it would also move outwards towards the edges to the container.
But
so have a concave.
Well, let's imagine if you had like a pizza pan, so just a circular round pan. I don't know, a few inches thick, and you put an inch of water in there. If you accelerate that upwards, then across the whole surface, it's experiencing,
same acceleration.
Exactly, across the whole lot. So there's no reason.
It moves to the sides.
Why?
To move to the sides.
I don't think you're right, Brian.
I am.
What do others think? Hello, Round Earth Aussie Devil. You come in. Thank you.
Howdy. How are you?
Not so bad.
I just wanted to weigh in on this pizza pan thing.
Please do.
I think that most of the the things we have with Earth is air resistance as well. If we were to do that on Earth, the air would push in on the middle, and the outsides would also get pushed, but they would then try and move, and the containers would keep it in, which is why we would get the dip in the middle. But in this vacuum of space where there is nothing, there wouldn't be any air resistance to cause that pressure on the middle.
I think I see what you're saying. So it.
Yes. So on the frame of reference, same as Newtonian and Einsteinian gravity.
Oh yeah, me too. I think I see what you're saying.
Because
it took a while for me to process, but I got there.
Yeah, it's all right. Sometimes I struggle to find an easy way of explaining some things, but then again, not everything is easy to explain either.
No, that's right. And if you're thinking about it the wrong way, you actually got to be able to put that out and bring in something else. But let's face it, right now we're talking various theories to explain something that isn't possible.
Yes, the things we're talking about are things that people who are much better qualified to research this stuff have been doing for centuries. And I have no qualification in science at all.
No,
so.
nor me.
Me neither. Can I jump in?
Yeah.
Can I just say, someone, I was listening to some guy that said he'd really like to debunk Oakley.
Yes, someone was saying that.
You can't debunk Oakley. The only way you'll get rid of Oakley is to ridicule him all the time, because he's going to stick by his guns. He's going to sit back and laugh at everybody, and the only way you're going to destroy him is by laughing at him and ignoring him.
I'm not sure.
Trust me, I'm good at that.
That's what he needs. It's like Riley with his science. I mean, he reminds me of Tommy Cooper. I really think he should wear a fez while he's doing science. You know, I mean,
just like that.
Just like
I
that. Yeah, you know,
Riley run away.
Like this. The stupidity out there is I don't know, but the people. This is the problem with the world.
Yeah,
people like routine. People like routine, and they don't like the routine being upset. And we really need to start upsetting routines.
But the problem with Riley's and Nathan's of this world is they're too tied up in their views, their subscribers, and their money that they're getting. And I don't think they believe what they say. Really,
I don't think they do either. Especially Oakley. Oakley's just in it for the money.
I think the ones that do believe it are the ones that tend to get frustrated and delete their channels because they can't handle the ridicule anymore. The ones that don't believe it and are just doing it for the money are the ones who continue to put out stuff.
So yes, but I think the reason I do it is I know that I'll never convince Riley. Well, possibly Riley, but certainly not Oakley. But the more people that see it, the less people are going to follow them. They're the ones that I want to help.
Exactly.
People who
I agree.
Yeah,
they just perhaps don't
the
have the
best we can do is teach the people watching.
Exactly, and then if they keep abandoning those channels, that's the way to hurt Riley and Oakley is in the pocket.
I sincerely agree with that. I think that there are people out there with doubts, and I think that they need to be sort of maybe steered in a different direction. But there are people out there like Oakley, Riley, and a lot of others who are making money off this. And Arwin,
Arwin, my
God. When he's out there, I don't.
God, 1,000 subscribers!
The statement on this side of the card is true. The statement on this side of the card is false. I think Arwin would spend hours on that, you know. But there are people out there who there are a lot of people who just go through life. I mean, if you walk to work and watch a bus going past you with people on the bus, I don't know. I mean, I used to walk to work. I used to walk 4 miles to work, and I'm not going down that road. No, sorry. People are easily programmed, and it's about breaking the programming.
But I also blame the education system because
Yeah.
we're failing a lot of the people.
I agree there. The education system is not right. Put it in simple terms.
The thing is, I will blame all this on technology because it became so easy to use that even flat earthers can use it.
What was the
That's
song?
true. That's true.
Television, the drug of the nation.
It's just,
Yeah.
and another thing about Mr. Rani Warrior, sorry, Tony Liley.
Yeah.
Sleeping Warrior.
Stupid warrior. Doesn't matter.
No, sorry, Rani Chicken. Come on. On me for like, don't know, 3 or 4 times. And the thing is, last time I had a discussion with him, he started to argue about part of the word after because he was as all the flat earthers do, he was cherry picking from the sentences to support his claims. And I was going, no, stop, go back. And I was reading the whole sentences that he was quoting from. And he ended up in quoting uni.
Can you give me a definition for that? Have you ever got a citation?
Exactly. This is exactly what he was doing. It was like unified. What unified means? That means one. He tried to bring the whole discussion to, and it's just he will be trying, but I think due to his being so much into flat Earth, he forgot what globe is.
Or what a human is.
He's into super chats. Super chats.
Who, Riley?
No, Nathan Oakley.
Oh yeah. I was going to say I don't think Riley's monetized, is he?
He's not. He relies on super chats.
Yeah, but I don't think you can get super chats unless you're monetized either.
Well,
no, he's not monetized, but he's got a PayPal link and everything in his.
Oh right, yes.
I don't
Hi,
know.
Pi.
Hello.
You snuck in.
Anyway, so the crux of it all is the flat Earth came out in 2015. It died, and then people realised they could make money from it. So now it's continued on into 2019, and you've got a lot of clever people like Mr. Sensible, and I'm going to say Fly the Flat Earth, but I don't like him personally. But he does do good things. In some sense.
Well, that's very kind of you to say, Bri. But when you say clever people, I'd say someone like AB Science. That's clever people.
Did you say Nathan Thompson?
Sorry.
Skyfly Bri.
I
agree with you totally. I think
See,
there are sensible people, and there are people who are just out there to make money.
I've heard one sentence saying that you are not smart, but at least you are strong. Nathan Thompson is neither of them.
I disagree with that.
He's not smart, and
he's not smart, but he's strong.
He's persuasive.
Yeah, he is.
That's the problem with Nathan, because he's strong.
65-year-old people.
He's dumb as shit. That, as my old man used to say, thick as pig shit. But he's a strong man, and that's what makes a difference.
Yeah, go in the room with him, and he'll demolish you just with insanity.
He'll confuse you until you mess up, and then he'll rip you to pieces.
Well,
he can talk. He can talk
He can talk,
Exactly.
but he has the advantage.
On Jose Gonzalez show, he can talk, and Pete Sheen.
He's a salesman.
Nonsense.
He's a salesman. He'll sell snow to Eskimos. That's it.
Well, the thing is,
sorry about that.
What he has is he has his volume set so he can shout straight over the top, and of course he'll mute left, right, and centre. And I think you said he'd bombard you. He will. He'll keep bombarding you. No, that's what you mean. You're saying this. You're saying no. Go back. I won't let you get away with this. I'm holding your feet to the fire, and he'll bamboozle people until people get flustered and then actually make a mistake, and then he'll jump on it.
Exactly.
True.
And another thing about them is they all they say, have you got any citation or any papers to back you up or anything like that? They all expect us to all be scientists and know all the answers, and then none of them are scientists, none of them have any degrees or any evidence or anything, and they expect us all to have it.
I've done more science than any of them.
And of course, what Sleepy Warrior does is he'll pull up a citation and then twist it or focus in on the meaning of one word. And look like what was it? All this stuff about gas pressure. He's seen the word container, so that's it. You cannot have this gas pressure without a container. You have to have a container to have a gradient, and you'll get container in everywhere. You know, it's just twisting.
Now his latest song is about mass, not masses.
Yes, I did see that on that live stream. Absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? And so Rumpus was saying, so if you had a herd of antelope, you know, you can weigh one antelope, weigh another antelope, weigh another, and you add them all together, and that's the herd. So it's a mass of the herd of antelope, and all the mass of the atmosphere it's all the individual masses of the molecules added together to the mass.
I mean, exactly.
Yeah.
Take ants for example. I mean, one ant weighs fucking nothing. Sorry for the swearing, but if you add all the ants on Earth together, they weigh more than all the people on Earth.
I know what you mean, and I was thinking I should ask Riley to send me 1 penny. It's only 1 penny. It's hardly anything. It's nearly zero, but just send me another one and another one. Keep sending me pennies. Each one's only nearly zero, and eventually I will end up a rich man because it adds up.
Exactly. One penny from 1 million people is $10,000. Exactly.
So that's what we're talking about. And
I need a penny from everybody on the planet then.
You should speak to Riley. He's always spending a penny.
Statement of the year.
Excuse me. My bank details.
Sorry?
Where should I post my bank details?
Oh man!
I don't want pennies. I want gold. I'm not into tax.
I think that's going to have to be a new quote. Anytime Riley puts up another video, oh, he's gone to the bank again.
4 months that's passed, and the Global Light Tour is over now. Jason from the Dysfunctional Family is bringing his camper van back to the UK. He's going to Leicester Square on Sunday.
Is he?
Jason from the Dysfunctional Family, I call it.
Yeah, yeah, but has it now finished? They're coming back.
Yeah, Sunday they're back at Leicester Square.
To do what? To get laughed at?
To spend the rest of the money they've got donated buying pizzas and beer, probably.
Oh God, I'm surprised Nathan Thompson's not putting a bid in for the van.
No, Nathan wants a Mercedes Sprinter.
Oh no, lovely vans. I used to drive a Sprinter.
What does he want the Sprinter
for? Lovely vans.
He wants to do an American Global Light Tour, like Roxanne's done in Europe.
So Oakley does.
Thompson.
Yeah,
Thompson. Oh, right. Yeah, he wants something to live in now, doesn't he? That's what it is, really.
Let's hope it's got 8 shower heads.
Don't sing that song again. You lost me my monetization to that video.
It's terrible. I can't believe that.
Hey, take it as a compliment. You're obviously good enough that the software thought that you were the real thing.
Yeah, Russian Features took one of my videos. And I was thinking, I didn't know nothing about that, but he didn't use the music luckily because I got copyrighted for that, even though I made it up myself. But it was the melody. I got done for the melody.
Yeah.
And I said, how can someone own a copyright for the chords or the notes in a chord in a key rather? Because they're all the same anyway.
Did you win?
Sorry?
Did you win?
I didn't bother pursuing it because it's not worth it. You can't win with people.
You can if you play hard enough.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I don't monetize, so I didn't lose anything personally.
It doesn't matter. It's not. It's about being true.
Well, actually, a change of message, guys. Did any of you?
I got busted on for
did any of you see the Fight the Flat Earth?
Sample from iMac, and they said,
"Bri, you're dropping out, mate."
iMac. No. This is free music.
Bri, you're dropping out.
That doesn't matter. I think you should fight for what's right, and that's the problem. Too many people give in too soon.
Wow,
and don't get me wrong.
You should fight.
The system is geared towards people with money, and that's a big problem. Because if you haven't got money, you give in.
Yeah, I agree. I know that. It's true. Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was saying. Did anyone see the Fight the Flat Earth thing about FE Core?
Fight the Flat Earth.
What is?
No, not yet.
What is actually happening? So they've
Well,
issued...
as far as I can gather, he got an email from a solicitor with a Word file that told him to cease and desist from defaming Fight the Flat Earth, FE Core.
But you're allowed to. Do you know what I mean? I'm allowed to debunk you if you've made a claim. I'm allowed to debunk your claim. That's not defaming you.
I mean,
and if you look like an idiot because you've made an idiotic claim, so be it.
They claimed that he said that they were claiming for tax-free status when they didn't actually have tax-free status, and then when they got tax-free status, they kind of saying, "Oh, we're suing him because he said we didn't have tax-free status," but. When he said that they didn't have tax-free status and they were claiming tax-free status, they didn't have tax-free status.
So he'd win anyway.
So the whole thing, from what I've seen, a solicitor. I've never had a solicitor send me a letter by an email. It's always been registered mail, and apparently the letter that they sent out was to the wrong address anyway. So I something smells about the whole thing, not just FE Core, but status, FTFE, the whole thing. I'm not saying nothing. I'm going no further.
Okay.
Well, you know what FE Core stands for, right?
Field Core Engineer.
Field engineer.
No. Really? No, I thought it was fecal core.
Allegedly.
Alrighty, I'm gonna have to go. I've got to pick up my kids.
Okay, mate. Well, listen. You've obviously.
Don't forget to turn them up the other way before you pick them up.
Yeah.
Make sure my son's got nothing in his pockets.
Yeah,
all right.
Aussie Devil.
See you later.
Aussie Devil.
Devil.
Aussie Devil. You've got. Aussie Devil. You've got.
Excuse me.
You've got the permissions, Aussie Devil. So you're welcome to pop in anytime I've got one of these open live streams. Okay.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'll be sure to pop in when I can.
Brilliant.
G'day.
You take care then. Bye bye.
Night.
And he's on his way. He's gone. I see 1 minute debunk is in here. Hello.
Yo, what's up?
How's it going?
It's fine.
Are you going to do that challenge?
Yeah. When's the cut-off date?
No. Basically, just over the next couple of weeks
Just
or
do
so.
it.
Yeah. What I'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
What's
I'll do.
the challenge?
Right. What it is, it's for. Well, it's a challenge. It's not a challenge. It's an invite to anyone, creator or non-creator, just to submit a 1-minute debunk of something, conspiracy or flat earth or anti-vaxxer, all the stuff that we've been dealing with. A 1-minute video, and not worried at all about quality of filming and that, so just so that people can feel really open to it. But I did say, as it's a 1-minute debunk, and 1-minute debunk does a lot of 1-minute debunks, then his should be a 30-second debunk. So it's a challenge for him. And
also, we can do it also, just but 1 minute.
Absolutely. Anyone at all. Any and everybody.
Where do we submit?
It'll go to me. So when and if you got something, just email me or DM me, and then we can either swap it over Discord, or if it's been uploaded to YouTube, I can, as an unlisted video, I can download it, and I'll gather them together, and then I'll either do an episode of the regular show with 1-minute debunks that have been submitted, or I'll do a live stream and just go through a whole bunch of them, and we can all have a laugh and so on. Just something different. So that was one side of things. But the other side of things was I've got 3 weeks that I'm not really going to be able to do much in January because of my daughter's wedding. So I've got a lot of slots, and I don't want to leave the channel not producing much at all during January. I'll still do some live streams. So I've invited creators to create an episode which I'll show on the channel, just putting an intro on the beginning, which gives exposure to them. It gives the viewers and subs on my channel the chance to see someone else who they may not have seen, and it gives me a slot filled without me having to create a video. So it's win-win-win, I hope.
Nice.
This whole thing with getting everyone to do 1-minute debunks is either going to make me look awesome or terrible.
Or both.
Or both, yes. It's
but if I may interrupt,
of course.
Considering all of the debunking side people are doing on average about 15 minutes debunk videos, and 1-minute debunk is able to fit within, what is it, including intro and outro, I would say 40 seconds. So if content creators are able to have 1 minute, then Mr. 1-minute debunk should get about 10 seconds.
20.
Here you go, 1-minute debunk. Have a choice then.
22 seconds.
Either a 30-second debunk, or
20 seconds,
or you go for a full 15 or 10 to 15-minute episode. Ooh, could you do that? Or are you going to sit there twiddling your thumbs because you've run out of things to say?
I'd be lost and confused.
Yeah, it's just for fun. So a short video, as I said, I'll either do an episode or a live stream with those, and separately, proper videos for episodes in my slots in January.
Actually, 1-minute debunk fits in with my attention span quite well.
That's the idea.
What do you reckon, Pie Parrot?
She's muted.
Yeah, but
sorry, I was AFK. But what's the question?
Yeah, are you up for doing a 1-minute debunk video?
I'll have a think about it.
Please
I won't
do.
say no.
Okay, good. Like I said, we're not after massive production values and stuff. It can just be done on an iPhone. It doesn't matter.
Probably will be.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. It'd be nice to, because other people might have some interest.
I'm not saying I might be showing my face, but I might.
That's all I've got.
Well, I have a lot better, so I'm not going to do it on an iPhone.
Well, you know what I'm saying. What I'm saying
I do.
is kit is not an issue. Software is not an issue. We just want a little video doing debunk something, maybe in a different fashion from other people. It might be interesting.
I was thinking.
I'll have a think about it.
Thank you.
I was thinking of doing rain, debunking gravity. But since I've mentioned it, I've got to think of something else now.
Well, not really, because I don't know quite where you're going with that. So keep it under your hat. Why not give it a go?
Rain falls down.
Right. So how's that debunking? No, you need to do the video, mate.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I need to think of an explanation. Where's 1 minute debunk when I need him?
No,
I'm here and confused.
I really like the water pressure thing. That's a real good debunk.
What makes rain? Heat. Rises from it causes the sea to it causes the water in the sea to evaporate into clouds. Clouds are water condensing. Wind forces water upwards, which causes I don't know, higher clouds, cumulus nimbus.
40 seconds.
Don't count me down. Okay. Cumulus nimbus. Cumulus nimbus. Clouds rising upwards and fanning out. Hailstones. Wind and atmospheric pressure forcing raindrops higher and higher, cooler and cooler. Ice gathering. Ice fall. It gets too heavy. The weight of the wind can't carry it. Ice drops fall down onto it, and that causes what's it called? Hail loading, and hail falls down onto the ground in massive.
That's really good. Do you know what you should do? Take all that and have Samuel L. Jackson do the voice.
What were you
I could afford
debunking there? It's just a water cycle.
Awesome.
Super chat, Mr. Sandy.
I know. Pie, I'm just trying to get a word in edgeways with these guys.
I've rain.
9. Yeah, I know. 9 o'clock. You're 1 minute's up. Think about it. Script it. Put it in a video. Submit it. I've got 2 super chats to read out now.
I could never do that. I'm an idea man. I'm not a creator.
Well, I've got 2 super chats. Surf, my 100th subscriber, has super chatted $2. What colour is the cheese on the plaque now? Wasn't it last night?
Wasn't it? Black.
Last night.
A black semicircle.
Dark
green.
Green.
Yeah, but
it's drying out on the edges.
Since the man has super chatted, here you go. Oh, there we are.
I've got to wait for my 30-second delay now to see it.
But there it is. It's all over. It's a bit dark orange and manky, and there's this black semicircle at the top that's getting blacker but not growing much.
It's for sale if any biologist wants to buy it.
That's right. I'm going for proving evolution, a cheese life form. But then I've got another super chat from Erabadron, who super chatted $5 Australian, who just wanted to thank you, Mr. S. You and the other debunkers. Sorry, I'm losing the rest of it. Let me drag the window wider. You and the other debunkers are the inspiration for me to go to university next year to study physics. Good man. More power to you. Do it. I honestly wish I could. I missed out big time by not going to university. Yeah, good stuff. And if I have encouraged you in any way, I feel a bit humbled. Thank you. And thank you for the super chat.
Oh, Mr. Sensible.
Yes?
You know how we all love aged cheese? I'm not sure I'm going to love that one.
Yes, it's quite interesting, isn't it? In real life, it's a bit more blotchy. The lighting, I don't know if you can see, if I hold it back a bit, can you see there's dark bits, darker area? There we go, that's a bit better. Darker, it's not a solid orange or yellow across. It's
what can you expect from processed cheese?
Yeah. Actually, in the little triangle, I don't know if you can see, let me get closer. Doesn't really show. But the little triangle in the middle, which did show just the white paper, The paper's going a bit black now. Oh, and Surf has given me $2 US, another super chat for making you get up. Thank you, Surf.
Does it smell from there?
No, in fact, this room is a garden office, and we've got some real cold weather the past few days, and so it's all through the day and the night when I'm not around. It's pretty much like a fridge in here, so that's keeping it fresh. But in the summer, it gets up to about 35 degrees in here. So I expect that it'll be like the Cambrian explosion in the summer. We'll suddenly have little dinosaur cheese monsters coming out of it. It did smell at one point, but the smell's gone away again.
That's probably because it's sealed up.
Didn't you try to open it once?
No, I did smell it, and I can't smell it right now. I think it's because it spent so much time cold here. But yeah, in the warmer weather, it was smelling quite nasty. But it's about 5 feet away from me normally, so I don't notice it.
Yes, in the UK, over the next 5 or 6 weeks, we will have minus 10 degrees Celsius and snow.
Oh, well, that's something to look forward to, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, we already have that here in Canada.
Yeah, we get flat snow in the UK because obviously the Earth's flat.
It's flat round here. I'll be able to park my car.
Oh dear. Have you seen? I forget the name of the channel. I was looking around for some videos, and he's come up with this conspiracy about trees. Have you heard that?
No.
Okay.
Right. This one
Really?
you're gonna love. Right. If you're
I'm from
stood
the major
anywhere,
oak country, so
if you're stood anywhere, there's more trees to the south, and they're planting trees to hide the fact that south is downhill, and they're trying to hide it.
Oh my! Jeez.
I think I'm going to have to get hold of that video and do it. The thing is, it wasn't a very good video because he's one of these guys who says something and then just plays a lot of crappy music showing photos and doesn't really say much or expand on it. But
That sounds like that guy.
No, it's not that guy.
It sounds someone stupid like him.
Heat Shields just said, guys, quit making him talk about the cheese slice. Eventually it will kill him and we'll all be responsible. Oh no, he's already coughing.
yeah.
Thanks,
I'll be back soon.
Okay, man. We've really got to teach 9 o'clock about the mute button.
I agree, amigo.
I don't think he's ever heard of one before.
He's still not muted. No,
Or push to talk.
Well, that's true. Actually, I think I could probably force that on him, can't I? I think that's an option, but that'd be too cruel.
And you change the key for him randomly.
Frederick, you are evil.
Want to hear my evil voice?
Oh no! I've had another super chat. Gerhard Selig. Gerhard Selig's just super chatted €5. Mr. Sensible, I debunk cheese using flat earthers. Take that, shill. Love it, Gerhard. And thank you so much for the super chat. Andreas Eld, did the tree guy film in portrait mode? Actually, I don't think he did. I think I will try and dig his channel out. Because it's such a weird.
Make a statement. Everyone that films in portrait mode should be shot on site.
Especially if they're filming.
Note yourself.
Especially if they're.
Well, of course, I'm talking as a cameraman. Background as a cameraman. So
but what about those who take their portrait mode and film their screen instead of using OBS or some software?
Oh,
that's cheap and nasty.
Torture.
Absolutely.
Torture, I would go with that.
Who else we got?
I think flat earthers film in portrait mode because they don't want to show the curvature.
Do you know what? I
You
never
know, by
thought
accident.
that. Yes, because it's a narrow field of view. I reckon you're onto something there, Spunchik.
They just want to hide it. And talking about 5 seconds debunk, I think 1 minute debunk will call something like that. I rewritten it, but I will read it. Hello! Today we are going to debunk the claim that that level means flat. Walls are flat, but not level. Oceans are level, but not flat. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and tickle that notification bell.
Well done.
Ding.
And buy my t-shirt.
Yay! Have a look in the shop.
Oh dear. So what else we got in chat? Irish Stew. The thermometer in my house says warning, danger of hypothermia. Blue Marble Science. Are your balls really blue, or is that just another Riley lie? I didn't see blue. Oh, Blue Marble Science. Yes. Well, what are you talking about, Blue Marble Science? About pointing at, laughing at people? I don't know. I've not seen the conversation. Just a quick note. Tomorrow I do have a video. For those who didn't see that live stream, I know I keep talking about it. I loved it. I didn't see the live stream with James Skipper. In there, he made some comments when I asked him what he thought of Anthony Riley, and I've wrapped that up into a little video for tomorrow night. So, Anthony Riley, if you're listening, please, and please, someone let him know, because I'm not sure if he's blocked me in his comments or not. But please let him know that NASA has comments to make about Anthony Riley. I actually think that's quite an honour for him, the fact that an ex-NASA engineer has watched his channel.
He'll be lurking. He'll know his name's been mentioned. He'll be about some. He'll be listening.
I hope so.
One of his friends will.
Oh, definitely.
Good. And
I had
who's fiddling?
I don't know. Is that you,
I
Nine?
had a few chats with him. Sorry.
You having a stream? You're on stream.
I had a few chats with Tony lately, but I don't think we are this close. So.
And Spunchik, you know, earlier we were talking about name pronunciation. Well, I just read out a comment just a minute ago, and Andreas Eld said that I'm the first to pronounce his name correctly. Oh yeah. Hey. The thing is, my surname nobody can pronounce, so I do have every sympathy with people with names that people can't pronounce. That's why I like to try and do it. Yeah, Brainless is just saying the stream was wonderful, guy, nice and friendly. In case you weren't watching a little earlier, I have been in email contact with James. We're going to do some testing, hopefully Sunday afternoon, to try and get his sound sorted. He thinks he is, and we'll try that. I'm also going to try and get the conferencing software working. I was going to use it tonight, but then I had all sorts of issues. But I suggested some dates for him later in December. But unfortunately, he can't make those dates. And he suggested some dates in January. So it does look as though it's going to be in January. But I'm going to have to fit it around this wedding thing. But I will do my damnedest to get him back on this channel, because he was wonderful. Did you see him, Fred?
No, I did not.
Oh, it's worth a watch. But if you're going to watch, I mean, it's a 2-hour live stream, but you can probably jump at least halfway through, because he had some real sound issues. We had some trouble getting him in. But he's an incredibly nice guy, and of course an ex-senior NASA test engineer. Quite a catch.
Yeah,
I
but
think.
I did scan through it real quick, but it was late at night and I didn't watch it. It does seem interesting.
Yeah, well,
it is worth watching.
Thank you, Spunchik. Yeah,
I'll put it on my to-do.
But what was I going to say? Yes, for this live stream, he does want people to think of questions to ask in advance, because it was fairly short notice, but also, as well as answering questions, he's going to tell us some anecdotes and stories from his time at NASA, which I'm really looking forward to.
I've got to admit, I love the science that went into all this space stuff, but I'd like to know that these people must have anecdotes, little anecdotes that just amongst themselves, that, you know, the little things.
Yes.
That people had a good time doing what they were doing. You know what I mean? The little in jokes and that kind of thing. I'd love to know what went off inside all this what can I say, creativeness that eventually sent people to the moon. You know, the little in jokes, the little the problems, the little things that I'd like. That's what I'd like to know about. And I don't know what was the space shuttle mission, the space mission that where some guy had been on a course and he was the only guy. So flick the switch to ASM or something or whatever, and it solved the problem. And it was only the fact that he'd done a course a few weeks earlier and he knew this. To do that, I, you know, there's got to be a lot of stuff like that that makes a difference, and it's those. Oh, wow, how can I put it? If you're not there, you don't know.
Experience.
It's like, well, I don't know what the mission was, where things started going wrong, and some guy had been on a course. So my voice is cracking up. Excuse me. But he said, flick the switch to, I don't know what it was, AMS or whatever. I don't know. And they did that, and it solved the problem. And if he'd not been on if this guy had not been on this course and not been there on the day, everything would have gone to pot. You know, and I think that is the kind of thing that makes a difference. You know, and that's what, I don't know. That's life, isn't it? That's the thing. It's like people don't believe in magic, but sometimes.
I think what you mean is dedication.
Dedication, and pure luck.
But there's going to be all sorts of stories, funny stories, things that went
funny
wrong.
Stories, yeah.
It's where you find that someone found that, yeah, if you actually put the widget in the wrong way round, it works better. That sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like the old. Oh God, when was the CB radio buzz back in England? Back in the
crumbs,
early 90s.
No, it's earlier than that, because I was a kid, and as soon as I had a car, I put a CB in it, and I'd had a base station before that.
CB is 70s.
Yeah,
CB was 70s, yeah, but I mean, when I got made redundant back in the 90s, back in the late 80s, 90s, I got into CBs, and there was the old Cobra radios where if you unsoldered a chip, turned it round and put it in the other way, you got all the side bands and everything. And it was
really?
I remember a few of my friends had these Cobra radio stations, and they just turned the chip around, and it made a big difference. They got all the sideband channels. And
can I just interrupt a second, Nine? Huge Arse has been asking about this wedding. Yeah, my daughter is in Australia. Her husband-to-be is American. They can't get married in America because she can't. They can't get married here because he can't. So they're getting married in Australia as a destination wedding. They'll just do the legal stuff, but then they'll come here, and in effect, that will be the wedding. You know, all the celebration. We'll have a service, if you like. So as far as we're concerned, it's happening here. We're not going to Australia, unfortunately. I would like to sometime, only I must admit I'm nervous about getting too close to the edge.
There's one reason I wouldn't go to Australia.
What's that?
Even the plants are out to get you.
I would love to. I'd love to go to the outback. I quite like desert environments. I went to Arizona, spent quite a bit of time in the desert there. Absolutely adored it. Fantastic.
I had an uncle who went to America on the old £10 trip to Australia. £10 to Australia.
A £10 pommy. Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
No, I think they did, didn't they? To move there. Do you mean?
Yeah, £10.
Yeah.
He went over there. I think he lasted about 20 years and came back.
Yeah.
But I remember I watched a documentary about some opal miner in Australia, and he says, we have another kid, we just dig another hole, make a room for him, and we get enough opals to support the kids. You know?
But no, Hugh Giles has said, but you guys have those squirrels. They're weird and dangerous. You're right there, Hugh. You do have to watch it. They're after nuts.
I'm sorry, I'm on Discord. I'm not watching the chat. So oh dear.
What's going on, Heat? I see Heat Shield says, ban all you want. Nobody can stop me walking all over the place with freaks. I don't know if there's some sort of argument happening in the chat. I hope there is nothing nasty. I hope anyway.
No, I don't think there's an argument.
But banning. We don't do banning in this channel other than for hate
It's
speech.
talking about CB radios, I think.
Okay. I used to love CBs. Squirrels, yes.
I once saw a red squirrel.
Yeah, I remember seeing one when I was a kid.
I've seen one.
I come from North Nottinghamshire.
What? Those squirrels over there?
Mostly grey. The greys are out doing their reds at the moment.
And I want to say North Nottinghamshire. I'm right on the border of South Yorkshire and Derbyshire. And I saw a red squirrel.
Yeah.
And
what?
I don't know if it was a pet that somebody owned that had escaped, because I've never seen. That's the only red squirrel I've ever seen.
Mm.
It was actually crossing a road.
Yeah.
Very few in Fabrican these days.
Yeah,
red squirrels were the grey squirrels have killed all the red squirrels.
But not exactly 9. Frederick, red squirrels were the natural squirrels here. Grey squirrels were brought here from another country. The real problem is that grey squirrels carry a disease that's not fatal to them, but it is to the red squirrels.
Exactly, yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So there we go.
Have a lot of grey squirrels.
Evolution
and
in action. Survival of the fittest, without invoking Adolf Hitler like Ray Comfort did. Yeah.
I got it. I can't confirm this, but I used to be like an amateur photographer many years ago, and I was out in the woodlands one day, and I saw this squirrel, and it was like 3 times bigger than any squirrel a grey squirrel, 3 times bigger than any squirrel that you could ever see.
A mega squirrel.
You point a camera at a squirrel, and it just poof, it's gone.
They're incredibly quick, aren't they?
They are, yeah. This squirrel was stood on a branch. I pointed my camera at it, and it just looked at me, and I took a picture of it, and I never got the film developed. I won't go into the circumstances, but I had to go away, and I left the films with my parents, and when I went back, there was about 6 or 7 different films that I'd left with them, and they'd all disappeared and gone. But this squirrel, it was like, I don't know. I don't know if you can imagine. I don't know. I can picture the most obnoxious squirrel you could ever imagine to meet. I mean, it literally, it was twice, if not 3 times bigger than your average squirrel, grey squirrel. And it was sat on this branch, and I pointed my camera at it, and it just looked at me as like, what? And I took a picture of it.
He basically didn't give a shit.
It didn't give a monkey's uncle about anything. And this is one of the few pictures that I wish I'd not lost, you know. But I mean, I could tell you stories about things that I've seen that you would not believe in nature, things that make me wonder about animals, insects.
Good night, Adam L. Thank you for coming. Yeah, sorry, but
anyway, I'm going to. I'm digressing here. We're going off subject. So
I don't think anyone can remember what the original subject was. But
I know the link. I know what the link is.
I'll tell you what. Then I'll tell you what. One hot summer's day, I went out for a walk. Walked down this. There's a deep valley. Walked down this deep valley. At the bottom of the valley, on one side of the valley, there's a road. Yeah, a road. One side there's a pond, big pond. On the other side, there's nothing. There's a big drop, and the pond, when it gets too big, it drains out and it falls down this 60-foot drop. So I'm sat on this at the bottom of the valley. Opposite me is what do they call it? Wire mesh fence, like a tennis court fence. Yeah. Top of one of the poles, a dragonfly. Dragonfly looks like a King Edward cigar. And I'm looking. I spotted it. This road is a back road that not many people know about. If you're a van driver, it's a shortcut to get from A to B. So down this road, odd car comes down. Dragonfly sitting on the fence, looking for vans and trucks coming down the road. As the trucks come down, Dragonfly jumps into the middle of the road, flies about, waits for the van, flies over the top of the van, and then starts whirling around in the turbulence from the van, and then sits back down on the post. And I was there watching this dragonfly, and it's like all it's doing is sitting on his post, waiting for vans to come down the road, and then when it sees one coming, it's flying into the middle of the lane, and then riding over the top of the van and flying around doing loop-the-loops, doing all sorts of acrobatics in the turbulence from the van.
Surfing
the air off the, and I kind of think, you see all these scientists that say insects do this by instinct and whatnot, and I think I'm looking at this 5-6 inch long dragonfly sitting on this fence doing acrobatics, and I'm thinking, is this guy doing this out of instinct, or is he just having a laugh? And I think I have to sort of wonder about everything. I have to question everything that is thrown at me about the world and about the way people think about the world from what I've seen, from what I've experienced in life. And I have to... Sorry, go ahead.
He was probably trying to attract a female.
Maybe. But I seriously think that he could see the turbulence. He was riding the turbulence. He knew what was coming, and he was demonstrating his skill.
Who knows?
Maybe he was trying to, but he was having fun, whatever. But when the van had gone past, whenever the car had gone past the van or the truck, he went back and sat on the post and waited for another car to come down. And I have to question, is this instinct, or is this knowledge?
Or just plain wanted to have fun.
It could be,
Taking
couldn't it?
advantage of the
What
moment.
was it? What was it?
I used to have a tropical fish tank, freshwater, and this was years ago when we were still using under gravel filters. So you used to have these pipes with air bubbling out. So you pump the air down, the air would bubble up a pipe, and it would drag water up with it. And
Yep.
you had these streams of bubbles coming up, and had these little zebra danios, little fish, almost an inch long, little stripy things. And
Zebrafish.
there was one.
Neons.
Well, there's one of these zebra danios would go into the stream of bubbles, swim straight downwards amongst the bubbles, come out the bottom, and then make his way back up and do it again and again and again. He loved it. He was playing. And that was a little fish, actually just playing.
I used to have a fish tank. I remember I was with a girlfriend. What was it? A sunlight. Oh God, I can't remember the name of the fish. Sunlight. It was an angelfish. Sunlight something. Bright yellow fish. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're talking about something. Looking at the fish, and she says, "I wish it was dead." And as soon as she said it, this fish, a 2-foot tank, it dived from one end to the other, flipped up, nearly knocked the top off the lid, and bang, it was dead.
Wow. Did you ditch that girlfriend quick?
I did, yes.
Because the first time you get into an argument with her, you've lost it.
It sort of makes you think about things that people, life, the universe, and everything. Because it's kind of like a bit kind of weird.
The thing is, though, the thing is, though, Nine, an instant, excuse me, an instant like that, you're going to go one of two ways. You're either going to think, "Wow."
I lost you.
What? Sorry.
Yeah, we lost you.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, it's definitely that control on the cable. Am I back again? Hello.
You're breaking up.
Hello. Hold on. Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you now.
Okay. Yeah. It's the controller midway down this cable. I hate it. I was saying that things like that will either strike people one of two ways. They'll either think, "Oh my goodness, what an amazing or what an incredibly funny coincidence," or "What are the chances of that?" But there is a chance. Or they'll read some woo into it. Oh my goodness, she made it die by saying it. She's got. Yeah, I know, but that is the mentality.
I agree entirely. I don't know if. I don't believe that what she said. It just happened there and then. You know what I mean? It's like the thing with the dragonfly. I've watched bees doing that wiggle dance.
Yeah, but there's reason behind that, isn't there?
They're telling another bee where to go and where the best pollen is.
Because they've actually decoded the dance. So the direction they're pointing and how fast they're wiggling indicates how far the food source is. Incredible.
I watched 2 bees doing a wiggle dance in an abandoned building on one hot summer's day in the middle of nowhere. I was out hiking, camping, and I was at a quarry, and there was an abandoned building, and I just crashed out, made myself a cup of tea. Well, I'm a coffee man. Made myself a cup of coffee, and I just happened to look down and saw 2 bees, and one bee was doing the wiggle dance, and the other bee was sort of like just not really doing anything, and the other bee was wiggling about and dancing backwards and forwards. Wiggling.
Yeah.
They waggle the back end, they do this wiggle dance sort of thing. And I'd previously seen programs, documentaries about bees and how they go to their hive and do this thing. And I think that what struck me is it was one bee talking to another bee, not a community of bees, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It was probably a bee from another hive, though.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
One of the most amazing natural things, in the animal world that I saw is one night. It was a summer evening, and I'd gone out for a cigarette, and I just wandered down the road, just out for a little walk, really, about 11, 12 at night, and I came across to the edge of this grassy area on the edge of this new estate, and I heard this really, really strange noise. It was a real snuffling sort of, and I couldn't work out what the hell it was because there was hardly any street lights. So I started walking around on this grass, tracking down where this sound was coming from, and eventually I saw two hedgehogs.
I was going to say hedgehog.
Hold on. One hedgehog was just sat there, and the other one was walking around it in circles, making these noises. And I watched this for about 10 minutes, and I thought, wow, what on earth is that? And I went home. It was months later. There was a natural history program on TV, and they said, you've got to see this. It's amazing. We've actually caught on film a hedgehog mating ritual, and it was exactly that.
Exactly what you've seen, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely incredible, because it's apparently so rare to be able to see, and I saw it, so I felt quite privileged, and I'll never forget it. But you know how hedgehogs make love, don't you?
Very carefully.
Absolutely, very carefully. Have you ever picked up a hedgehog?
No, I think the worst thing I ever saw was a hedgehog crossing a road, and a guy I was with ran up and jumped on him with both feet.
Oh man, I don't even. I tell you what, nine. I don't even want to know. Don't tell us, Nine. Oh,
I disassociated myself with the whole group of people.
That is disgusting.
I was feeding one most of the summer. Came into the garden.
I must confess,
they are most beautiful things. And
one of the funniest things I've ever seen, which I wish I'd taken a photograph of, and I should have done, was I used to take my boys to school, and I was walking back from dropping my boy off, and there was a dead hedgehog lying in the grass on his back with a big stonker on, and I mean, it was.
Where is this going?
Well, I was just say. I mean, have you ever seen a hedgehog with a stonker?
I don't know.
It's a dead hedgehog lying on his back with his. Obviously, I don't know how he died, but I think he died happy.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you've ever picked up a hedgehog, but they are incredible. If you wait until a picture comes up on screen, but if you put your two middle fingers together and you put that between their front legs and their back legs, they will curl round your fingers and actually curl around quite tightly to the extent you can even hold them with them curled round. And underneath, their fur is nice and soft and they're really warm. They're really nice. Beautiful creatures. Do they have hedgehogs where you're from, Frederick?
Yes, they do. Yes, we do.
Yeah, I think they're lovely.
Also, but
yeah.
I've got to admit, it's been a long time since I last saw a hedgehog.
Well, we get quite a lot, and the dogs find them in the garden. They don't hurt them; they just go up and bark at them because it's something interesting. But they're beautiful things. I love them.
Unfortunately, civilization pushed them really far back.
Yeah, that's happening with many things, though, isn't it? Sorry.
Unfortunately, we still have skunks.
I've never seen one.
And grey squirrels.
But do skunks smell all the time, or only if they're trying to have an effect?
Only when they're threatened.
Yeah. And how big are they?
A bit like a big fat cat.
Okay.
Has anyone seen the video of the what was it? The all-terrain biker riding across a road, riding along a road, and he stops, and there's a skunk with all his babies, or all her babies, comes along. She's got about 6 or 7 kids with her, and they come along, sniff the bike, have a look around, and then all puddle on and carry on as if
No, I haven't seen
I
that.
think it's a great little video.
I can just imagine the sweat in this guy.
No, I think the guy
scared.
was really cool. He just saw this skunk coming along. He stopped his bike. The skunk came along, came up to the bike, had a sniff around with all his little babies, about 6 or 7 babies around it, and then she just carried on, and all the little puppies or whatever you call baby skunks just followed her on, and it was just a nice little video.
So
animal life.
Frederick, if a skunk's going to do that, do they just spray?
Yeah, they do, but you have a couple of seconds to evade if you know what you're looking for.
But I mean, basically, they're spraying urine, are they? Or is
basically, no, it's a special type of gland. It's coming out from somewhere
else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever had that happen to you then?
No, but I did spray one with a hose before I got sprayed, though.
Oh dear.
No, but you know the way to wash yourself off the smell is to bathe in tomato sauce.
I've heard that, yeah, tomatoes
or just accept the way you are and go out proud of it and see if you can pull.
Yeah. Not sure.
Not sure it would work. Okay.
I think I'd just try and avoid them.
Oh my goodness! I just seen a thing in the chat from the Bard, Mr. Sensible. I just found out that one of my cousins is a biblical flat earther. Thanksgiving was so awkward in trying to be nice to her. Oh man! Oh, the Bard. Oh wow! So are you going to challenge her? This is the thing. I mean, I don't feel guilty and feel quite happy challenging flat earthers. But even though I do challenge certainly extreme religious belief, there's always that uncomfortableness. I don't know what. Why should that be? Religion be treated as something special?
It's not.
No,
ignorance. It's ignorance to an nth degree. I think it should be challenged on every occasion.
But it's true, isn't it? If a vicar came up to you and started talking to you, you might just say very politely, "Look, I disagree." But you wouldn't really dream of going at him hammer and tongs and saying, "Well, that's wrong because," and it's ridiculous because you think, well, I must respect that's his belief. I disagree with it, but why is that? What is it that makes religion different? Because something does.
I think that's a problem. I've got nothing against religion. It's the church I'm against.
Right. I know what you mean.
Yeah. I like the way Aaron Ra disputes and how he does things. Very, very methodical. And he just refutes and he just goes at it. And it's kind of hard to go against what he's saying.
Yeah, Aaron Ra is very good. I prefer the style of Thunderfoot myself, but yeah, I've watched some Aaron Ra. It's those. Yeah, I'm very, very tolerant of people having religious belief. I disagree with it totally, but very tolerant. But the sort of young Earth creationists and the shove it down your throat guys, no, can't stand it at all.
Yeah, like Thompson.
These the evangelical churches of America, where they own TV stations and they make millions and millions. I see. What was it a couple of years ago? Where what was it? New Orleans or somewhere got flooded, and there was one of these churches.
Yes, it's
there was a safe environment, and they refused to open it up for the people to use as a rescue centre. And I was thinking, what kind of church does that?
Yeah.
What kind of church? This guy was just. It's just a money-making thing. I mean, I've never. I regard myself as a Christian. I've done some I've done some. How can I put it?
Bad.
Yeah, okay. Bad things for the right reasons. You know what I mean? You look after people. You might do
Don't
something.
we all do that?
You know, exactly. And I think the church. I remember getting off a bus and walking
Sorry,
500 yards to my house.
Nine. If I could just interrupt for a second, because Hugh Jars has just said that he thinks that you may be confusing evangelical with charismatic.
Maybe. I'm talking about these American where they preach and send me your money and all this thing that.
Well, of course, it's more than just that now, because there's these ones. Maybe you know, Fred, because I don't know if it's spread up into Canada, but the ones where they're basically saying that if God wants you to be rich, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Basically money.
We don't have that in Canada yet.
But I do remember years back seeing one of these televangelists on TV being.
Me too. I remember that too.
But there's one being interviewed, and his fingers were dripping with diamond and gold rings and all this sort of stuff. And the interviewer actually said, "Look, you seem to have an awful lot of jewellery and wealth and so on." And do you know what this guy actually said? Couldn't believe it. He said, "Well, we'll all be rich in heaven, and my Father wants me to experience it now." Oh man! Oh, disgusting. And then, of course, there's that one who's got about 4 private jets. Because it wouldn't do to mix with ordinary people. Disgusting.
Anyway, guys, I want to say thank you and good night, everyone.
Okay, Brian. Thank you very much.
Good night.
Yeah, you take care. See you again, Brian.
Have a good one.
What did the Bible say about rich people going to heaven? It's harder for a camel to pass through a needle's eye than a rich man to go to heaven.
That's right. It's not that money is the root of all evil. It's the love of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
Which is a major difference. And yeah, some people will be wealthy, but how have they got that money and what do they do with it?
Yeah, so true.
Who did the one with the guy? I use a private jet because I don't want to be on a plane with ordinary people.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
I mean, how sick is that?
I know.
I mean, if don't get me wrong. I mean, what was it back in London? There was a few protests, and some church opened up their grounds and let people camp on the grounds. This is going back maybe 2-3 years, and the head of the church says, "Oh, you can't do that. You can't let them." When I was a lad, church was open 24 hours 7.
Yeah,
24/7.
The problem
is, go into a church anytime, any day, and then I don't know what it was. It must have been back in the 80s. Some church had a few golden eagle Bible stands stolen, and a couple of golden goblets stolen from wherever. And the church suddenly said, "Oh no, we're locking our doors."
Yeah.
And I think to myself, what are you doing with golden Bible?
Well, that's true. That's true.
Goblets out for display anyway. That money should be going towards helping the poor people from the first. You shouldn't have golden eagle Bible stands and whatnot. But
at night,
let me say, if you go to a church nowadays, I'll lay odds that the door will be locked.
Right. Well,
it's a Sunday.
A couple of things. The church in my village is open all the time. And that's nice to be able to just wander in, because we've had visitors, for instance, to the UK, and they love seeing the old buildings, and we've just taken them down there, and it's a 12th century church. But Brainless Steel NL has just pointed out that guy about the aeroplane. He said calling an aeroplane a tube filled with demons.
Yeah.
I mean, that's disgusting. How does he know how godly those people that happen to be on the same plane are? They may put him to shame. and I think that's probably quite likely.
Too right.
I don't know if you know this, but in Canada, Montreal particularly, a lot of the nicest churches, the physical structures, are no longer churches per se. They're sold off for something else, like condos or museums.
When I was younger, where I come from, we used to do a lot of all-terrain biking. We used to go around, and I've seen a lot of churches, old churches, with thatched roofs.
Oh my goodness!
Graveyards and well,
Wow.
not a lot of thatched roofs, but I've seen churches with thatched roofs, and I've seen churches which just out in the middle of nowhere, better kept than churches that I've seen in cities and where I live now. In cities, I live in Oxford. Yeah, I live close to Oxford city centre. Going to Oxford city centre, there's a church in there, and the grounds are all overgrown, unkempt, and I think, you know,
Kenneth Copeland
locked up. And as I was saying, I remember getting off the bus and walking towards my house and seeing a guy driving up the road in what I would class as what I know was, due to previous experience, a Mercedes Benz, which was probably worth about £80,000 plus, with a dog collar on. And I'm thinking, why is a priest driving an £80,000 car? You know,
God loves him. God loves him, mate.
How much money does the church keep for themselves? What are they? I mean, I think to myself, when the priesthood started out, they relied on charity. You gave people advice, and they gave you sustenance for that advice.
Although I think the church
would
was
survive. If you're not giving people good advice and you're not getting sustenance from the people, then you're not worth the ground that you're sat on.
Yeah, but I think,
you know what
I
I mean?
agree.
I think though historically the church has always been very rich. Priests and monks, the monasteries, they always had a lot of money. But listen, guys, I think I just noticed the time on 1:15. So I think I've really enjoyed this. As usual, this is turned into a let's just wander and shoot the breeze, which is part of the point of this live stream. So I think I'm going to round up now. Frederick, I've got to say thank you very much for coming on. It's been great to start chatting to you and starting to get to know you.
You're very welcome. It was very nice being here.
Thank you. So, 9, do you have any last words to say?
Stay cool, stay awake, and don't let the bed bugs bite.
Okay, thank you, 9. And what about yourself, Fred?
I'm not going to say stay awake, because I am. You're not. But it was nice meeting you all. Stay woke, yeah.
Yeah, stay woke. Good one. Yeah. And there's a couple of people saying in the chat it was a nice chat tonight. Yes. And Surf, please, anytime pop in. That'd be great. Surf's talking about maybe coming on sometime. That would be good as well. I'd like to meet you online as well. Okay, right. Thank you very much, guys. What I'll do is I'll just switch off the audio to the Discord. So thank you.
May the cheese be with you.
Thank you very much.
TTFN, folks.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Cheers then. Bye bye. Well, thank you very much for joining me, everyone. If you were here right at the start, sorry for all the confusion, sorry for the delays, sorry for all the misleading notifications that went out. As I said, it was a cock up with the software. I'm going to do a bit of practicing with the conferencing stuff, so we should have Skipper on sometime in January. I will keep you up to date. Don't forget the 2 invites. 1 minute debunk videos open to anybody. You can email me, you can Discord me, and let me know how to get access to your video, and I'll bundle them up either in a show or on a live stream. And for creators, around a full episode, so 8, 10, 12 minutes long sort of thing, to gain exposure for you, to provide something for my audience, and to cover me for one of my slots, which I probably won't be able to cover in January. Again, just contact me, drop me a message. Thank you all so very, very much. Lots of you in the chat. Good night to you all. Take care. Stay sensible. Oh, and I'll finally press the button. Good night.